The Spa on a Saturday. Bright lights, big stage set aside for the best of the best. Always a runner knows all about prime time. Kentucky Oaks winner. Is she the best 3-year-old filly in the nation? Up for debate. Based on what happened the last time she met that filly, Counting Stars handed Always a Runner her first defeat. Will she hand her a second in the coaching club, American Oaks? On this stellar Saturday in Saratoga Springs, great to have you with us on Fox Sports 1. This is Saratoga Live. Doesn't get much better than this in late July at this storied racing venue. Another postcard kind of afternoon. Terrific crowd on hand for this coaching club, American Oaks Saturday. Moments from the first of 12 2-year-olds to get us started in just a few moments. Trackside, welcome everyone. I'm Lafitte Pinkai. There are 17 Grade 1 races to be contested here at Saratoga this summer. Grade 1, you're talking about the top level of competition in thoroughbred racing. And later on this evening, you'll see one of them. Grade 1 Coaching Club, American Oaks 3-year-old fillies. Here is the field. Very real championship implications. There's the field. Two names jump off that screen. Always a Runner, number 6, the favorite with Rod Ortiz. Number 1, Counting Stars, second choice with brother Jose. Yet another storyline in this terrific Coaching Club, American Oaks. As I welcome in my co-host, New York Racing Association analyst Andy Popcorn Serling. Jonathan, wrong set, kitchen guys. It may not look like it just yet, but yeah, Andy, it is one of those Saturdays at Saratoga.
No popcorn for you, Lafitte. I mean, walking to the track as I do every day, on a day like today, on a card like today, with these historic races, if that doesn't bring a smile to your face, even a curmudgeon like me is happy being in Saratoga.
You can make him happy. He's got
popcorn
over there.
He's good.
Jonathan gets popcorn. You get none.
42 seconds into the show, the popcorn made it into the show.
Look, I'm excited. It's a fun day. Excited to watch these two horses, Counting Stars and Always a Runner, kind of have that showdown again. There's other horses in there that can win as well. It's part of being at Saratoga. You got some good maiden races as well. We're going to see one in a few minutes.
In just a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Starting with 2-year-olds.
It's a perfect day.
Going to be awesome. Today's races, let's set the table. Brought to you by Claiborne Farm. 100 years in the usual, unusually well. As promised, those 2-year-olds starting the early pick 5. Later, pair of summer highlights. The Vanderbilt Coaching Club, American Oaks, both on Fox. Coverage begins 3 Eastern. So, time to do one of two things. Fire up that NyraBets account or sign up for one. NyraBets.com. Take advantage of that $200 deposit match bonus. Use that promo code SPA200. Enjoy betting on over 300 tracks around the world. Start winning today. Join now at NyraBets.com. Field for the first of 12 2-year-old fillies. The girls maiden special weight 6 furlong dash. Updated odds with Elevated. 6-5 favorite currently. 2 minutes out, but we're going to start with Mysticious. And your top selection at a price 10-1. Let's hear it. Why Mysticious?
Well, I have no information in these races. And listen, maybe the flight line Elevated as a runner was scratched last week before the race and was a heavy favorite that day. I just saw Mysticious, and I see Marie Brissett has this horse working in Kentucky. They got a lot of maiden races at Ellis Park he can run in. Yet he decides to ship this horse all the way from Kentucky to run a Saturday maiden race. So I have to think that Rudy Brissett must think he has a runner here. Now, he may, and a lot of trainers think they have runners in 2-year-old races, and they do, and they still lose. But at price, I'm going to take a little shot with this horse who's been entered a couple times at Ellis Park and scratched. Coming here to Saratoga, see if he shows up, but we'll see if he's good enough.
Handicapping the trainers. Sometimes just as significant as handicapping the horses. As we welcome in Maggie Wolfendale to the broadcast. Standing by trackside, Maggie. Elevated is the favorite. She was supposed to run last Saturday, fell, flipped in the paddock, scratched. What is she showing you today?
Right, take 2 for Elevated, and they schooled her in the interim, Lafitte. I watched her earlier this week, schooling forward trainer Bill Mott in the paddock. They opted to keep her away from the rest of the fillies when they all went out to get their riders up. They kept her kind of over in, I say, Bill Mott's corner, which is the far corner of the paddock, and got Junior up there. She behaved beautifully. All things good for Elevated, who we'll see. Can she run to the backing that she's taken in both of her, well, first start that she was supposed to make and today. She is owned by My Racehorse, and they do like to bet, of course, so rightfully so. Looking at her, she's incredibly athletic looking. She reportedly on the DRF Clock Report has shown tons of speed from the gate. She looks that way. She's not that big, but she's really well put together. She just looks very fleet-footed, as she almost looks like a bomb about to go off there on the racetrack as Junior's trying to keep her quiet, but keeping a lid on it as of now. Moving on to some longer shots in here. Number 4, as we go from father to son, Lucera for Belmont, daughter of Nyquist, is a half-2 Federico Tessio winner in Taj Mahal. Of course, that was going a bit longer, but the dam, she did win first time out as a 2-year-old. I like the way that this filly has been working locally here. She has been working with a colt, an unraced colt, but keeping good company and on even terms through good solid fractions, and never asked for that much. I love the way she walked in the paddock. She just has that quicker type of appearance, those elevated hindquarters. She's really well prepared from my estimation, and Edgar Zayas, who does climb aboard today, has been on her in the morning, so very familiar with this filly. Moving on to number 8, Mysticious, who Andy recognized. I like this filly. Whether it's today, I'm not sure. Rudy Brissett, better when they have experience. She looks about 90% here, Lafitte, but I love the way she warmed up. She is wearing blinkers, however, not something I'd love to see with first-time starters, but I think she could be live in this spot.
Maggie, Mysticious for Andy. Jonathan, Inter Us is for you.
Yeah, experienced horse broke slow last time. I'm hoping that the horse will break a little bit better here today.
Made up a ton of ground late in her debut, Churchill Downs. To Frank Miramati, the voice of Saratoga, in front of this big crowd on this coaching club, American Oaks, Saturday. Race 1, live on FS1. Here's Frank Miramati.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Batitude bounced out very quickly. Miss Lou along the inside, but there goes Elevated. And Elevated with sharp speed has taken command and cleared off to lead it by a length and a half. Mysticious has moved into second, and down at the rail, Lucera is now in third. It's another 3. Introsius is racing a joint 4th. Batitude is on the outside. Another couple of lengths back. Miss Lou, who was closer earlier, is toward the back of the field, some 7 lengths off the lead. Help a Girl Out is racing 5 behind Texas Dandelion and Lady Gervin. They string out 22 and 3. It's Elevated in front. Mysticious moving alongside. Batitude is in the race third, followed by Lucera and Introsius. They're at the top of the stretch. It's still wide open. Lucera has cut the corner to challenge Elevated, who's still there. Now here's a clear shot for Introsius, who's coming in on the outside. Mysticious driving finish. Introsius now takes command, opens up 3 close to home, and it's Introsius to win it, going away by 3 lengths. Mysticious was second. Lucera finished third. Elevated fourth.
Introsius, Dr. Joel Polides filly, Kentucky Invader, second career start. JK, you zeroed in on her at 7-1. Andy's top selection completing the exacta. Mysticious. Introsius graduates at the spot.
This is great news for me because my knee has been killing me, and I'm going to hit up Dr. Joel tonight. He'll be in a great mood. I need him to check my knee out. And after he gets a win like this with a maiden, I think he'll be in a good mood.
You could be up for some Introsius. Great pick, Jonathan. Perfect trip. We were talking about it beforehand. Absolutely, it run well first time out. Thrilled to see Joel get the win. Sorry that Tom's not training, but probably wouldn't have won if Tom was still training and, really got a great trip and got it done. And disappointing first effort for Elevated, who didn't run badly, but just wasn't really good enough. And Trosius gets it done. And I'm going to say, you and I, giving out the exacta, we're going to leave and leave
Probably
you
a good idea.
Because clearly it's all downhill from here.
You need to eat more popcorn before every broadcast.
Don't worry.
You need to go to the wrong set before every broadcast if this is the result. Ricardo Santana teaming up here. Kinnan LaRose, and she flashed her ability at Churchill. Jonathan, she was so far back early, and really that third place finish, as much real estate as she made up late, was noteworthy.
She just showed a lot of talent that day to be able to overcome the way that her race started in her first start. You had to think she would improve. Now look, it's dangerous because sometimes horses that break slow first time out, they break slow second time out. Thank goodness she didn't here today.
And you know, the lesson here, and I know it's after the race, but you also said it beforehand, we've seen a lot of very, very good horses lose their debuts to horses that aren't as good, but they have experience. Now, I'm not saying maybe Introthesis is actually better than these horses, but the experience, it's such a big deal.
You gotta love Ricardo's pants, don't you?
There it is. Soleil-Vaux. How'd that happen?
Pining for some free dinners. Ricardo, you're winning races. You don't need a free dinner.
Ricardo Santana, terrific start to the meet. Again, it was a big story regarding the riders last year. Finished 4th in the standings. Terrific first few weeks here. Lost to Smile about a couple of stakes wins, and he strikes early on the CCA Oaks program. 5-8, 4-7 in the opener. Just getting underway. This filly has the momentum. Counting Stars, dazzling in the Acorn on this track. Over always a runner. Will she do it again? Just getting started on this Coaching Club. American Oaks Saturday on Fox Sports 1.
Would love. He's just a perfect silhouette of a horse.
Citizen Bull, his speed is his weapon.
Citizen Bull in gate to wire fashion.
When the real running starts,
And he kicks away.
you need that brilliance. You need that speed to carry you on.
Citizen Bull to win.
To me, the best sires are the milers. I want a sire that's a miler.
Citizen Bull leads them all the way.
He's a colt with every single ingredient you want in a stallion prospect.
Off and running on this Saturday at Saratoga. Saratoga live on FS1, brought to you in part by Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Visit NairaBets.com or download the Naira Bets app to get started. If those guys listen to my guys on the set, you're getting paid. That exactly what it returned. 138?
138 for $1.
That'll work.
I would have taken that for $2, to be honest with you.
That'll work. Big performance. Dr. Joel Polides, Introcious. Wins in her second start. We've pronounced her name 37 different ways. 16:54 in the end, 5-8-4. And after Dr. Joel Politi celebrates this win, Maggie Wolfendale at some point let him know he needs to examine Jonathan's knee, apparently.
Well, maybe he could perform a intraosseous procedure on Jonathan's knee. Joel, thank you for clarifying. Of course, you are a man that replaces knees. I think Jonathan, after celebrating so hard and betting your filly here, he might need one.
If he's jumping down and up and down and up, maybe we'll just give him a simple injection. We'll get you through, Jonathan. You'll be fine.
Talk a little bit about intraosseous. I thought such a promising debut at Churchill. It seems like Kinnan got them started there, and they're all coming here well prepared and ready to win.
Yeah, so first off, props to Kinnan. He's taken the reins from Tom, and we haven't missed a beat at all, which has been wonderful. She was prepped at Highlander in Texas. They do a really good job. Everybody that's come in has been really professional. And in the paddock, she was just head down, loping around. She's a really gorgeous filly, and I love Gervin, by the way. Yeah.
And kind of an underrated sire.
Way underrated. This is his first real Kentucky crop, and I don't know if this is his 6th or 7th two-year-old winner this year, but Gervin is going to be on fire.
Oh yeah, no, he hits at like 20% with his juveniles, or first-time starters, I should say. Talk a little bit about the week ahead, though, as you'll have stress relief in the Adirondack.
Yeah, so a homebred filly. Tom and I picked out the mother, Little Stitious, at the Keeneland sale. She won a couple stakes, and then we retired her. She has a not this time 2-year-old who's really pretty. She won first time out at Churchill. And we don't know how good any of these horses are after one start, but she was very impressive first time out. So we'll see what we got next weekend.
Wishing you the best of luck. Hopefully this is a harbinger of things to come with this win here.
We will take it, yes.
Always so nice to catch up with you, Joel. Congrats.
All right, thanks, Maggie.
All right, Joel Politi here, sending out intraosseous for the win today. And she looked good in doing it. Future could be bright. Guys?
Impressive. He's got you covered. just a shot, and you'll be right as rain.
I need it. I need it. This thing's not working right.
It's a long beat. Better get to work.
This filly, Andy, I know that you like to wait for a speed figure, but based on the performance, what she did in her first start, like how good do you think she is or can be?
It's hard to know. I mean, the final time of 112.15 is not particularly fast, but for all I know, the track's playing slowly today. You wait to see the figures, you wait to see, but you let them enjoy the win. A big win in Saratoga. If it comes back a 30 buyer, it's not gonna, but if it did, it's still a win in Saratoga, so I'm not raining anybody's parade. That was a great win for them.
And a great start for our analysts here thus far. As we turn the page, look ahead to race number 2, New York bred starter allowance, fillies and mares from the Wilson Chute. Take out number 5, Lady Delilah. Number 3, Power of Women. 9-5 currently, Jonathan. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Power Woman's last race was much better than anything in here. My concern, obviously, is the trainer change. Not that I have a problem with Horacio.
Yeah.
Just saying you don't know if the performance will match when they switch. You never know.
I have a different concern, and I agree. If she runs the figure she ran last time, she's going to win. Is her best races are all in the front end. And with the presence of the 4, even the 6 and 7, there's a lot of other speed in here. So I don't see her getting the same kind of trip she got last time. That's more my concern because listen, Rick's terrific, but so is Horacio. So I don't worry about that as much.
1 down, 11 to go. Race number 2 coming up. Start of the early pick 4 if the early pick 5 didn't work out. When we return, she did so much with little experience. Always a runner. Kentucky Oaks winner in her 3rd career start. Then denied for the first time in the Acorn. How will she respond in the coaching club, American Oaks?
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the NyraBets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch and bet on live horse racing from over 300 tracks worldwide. Get expert picks, play live money betting contests, and boost your bankroll with daily promotions. NyraBets is the official betting partner of Saratoga Racecourse. Sign up now. New members use promo code SPA200 to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with NyraBets.
And here's Tama in the final stages. The Santa Anita Derby goes to Tama. It's Tama, absolutely terrific, winning Malibu by 4 widening lengths.
Well, I think what my racehorse does is it gives owners an opportunity to get involved in the game.
Very much enjoy sharing the barn visits and those big wins.
Straight no chaser in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
It allows everybody to come together to own a horse, whether you own a microfraction or you own 50%. It's the same feeling you get when they win.
I'm Dan Blacker.
I'm Sophie Joseph Jr.
I'm Todd Fletcher, a trainer for my racehorse.
Sees the blade, wins the Preakness. Prince of Monaco's Too Good for Moose, an impressive winner of the Best Pal. Miramondi's all hot, but Prince of Monaco too good.
Prince of Monaco, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Before she ever ran as a 2-year-old, Chad Brown was saying, "This is my Kentucky Oaks filly."
Brilliant horse, really excited about her. Look forward to running her.
Always a runner, she's always a winner.
Always a runner, Kentucky Oaks winner. It's one of the best he's ever laid attack upon.
The one thing about 3-year-old fillies, I think we all know, is that they can change overnight, they can improve.
You wait till you see Counting Stars.
Always a runner, her familiar rival comes to her. Always a runner is up to take the lead, but here's Counting Stars and goes right by Always a Runner. Counting Stars, who pulls clear for an emphatic victory in the DraftKings Acorn.
That'll get you fired up. Counting Stars evens the score all by herself on the gallop out. That was in the Acorn. Jonathan, I'm not saying we're there yet, but this is the stuff really good rivalries, budding rivalries are made of.
And that's how it starts, right? Big races, grade ones, one wins one wins the other. Now you have the rubber match. That's how a rivalry begins.
No, I agree, and I'll throw a monkey wrench into it. With the scratches, and Zany's been a massive disappointment this year, a horse that I thought was going to be the best 3-year-old in the country this year. She could be the controlling speed in here. What happens if she upsets this race? Now you've got all three with 3 big grade 1 wins, and you've got a rivalry among 3.
All right, remember, she was the favorite at post time in this race, going back to Churchill Downs under the Friday night lights. Naturally, the America's Best Racing's race of the week. 110th running, Coaching Club, American Oaks, the field. The scratches you referenced. Among the best 3-year-old fillies in the game, Mile and an Eighth, the rail for Counting Stars, second choice, number 6, Always a Runner, 9-5, morning line favorite. Now to Churchill, under the lights. Andy, Counting Stars operating inside, Always a Runner, out in the clear.
Well, you know, it's a problematic situation drawing the rail. Now, obviously, you've got Irad Ortiz, and he's going to have a plan, and he'll probably try to execute it. The problem, Jonathan, is for Counting Stars, with the scratches, she ends up being kind of the other speed with Zany. And Irad's in that tough position where if he doesn't go, he risks kind of getting shuffled out of the race. And doesn't he really kind of have to be forward out of the gate?
Yeah, I agree with all of that. The one thing I will say, it's not the largest field. There is enough room to the first turn that he should be able to work out a trip where the rail doesn't cost him. But I understand everything you're saying. It makes sense.
I guess in his dream world scenario, he goes forward, he drifts a little into the turn, Zany clears, and then he gets outside of her. That's probably what he's hoping for, but hoping and having things work out, even for Irad Ortiz, it's not always that easy. And his brother's going to understand that situation as well, riding Always a Runner. It's going to be a very interesting chess match.
Always a Runner at that point was undefeated. That would change Belmont Stakes Week right here in the Acorn. Andy, Counting Stars runs right by Always a Runner to her outside.
Now, I picked Always a Runner today because I think she'll rebound, and maybe she moved a little soon last time. But I think if you look at both of these races and want to say, was one winner more definitive than the other one, Jonathan, I think you have to say it was Counting Stars in this race.
No, she was outstanding. I mean, I said it earlier this week. I think that this performance and how well Counting Stars ran and how much better she looks than Always a Runner is not the true indication of their talent. I think they're both much closer, much more competitive than those two performances individually stand up to.
Always a Runner, Counting Stars side by side. These two top-ranked 3-year-old fillies. Counting Stars, the edge in the counting stats. Experience wins, money earned. The head-to-head, 1 win apiece. Something's got to give in the coaching club, American Oaks, Jonathan. Yeah, it's grade 1. There's a $500,000 purse. Like, what else is at stake for these two?
Well, I mean, I think the championship's on the line. I think that both of them are going to need to probably accomplish one more big thing to kind of take the lead. I'd say right now they're tied-ish.
Pretty close.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think I love this about the race. This is, I mean, listen, our job is to hype races, and sometimes we hype races that may not be as exciting as others. This one you don't need to hype. This is an excellent, excellent race, and I think the fact that, we're sorry to lose directive, but now the potential for Zany to be able to control in here, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it could. Suddenly it adds another layer to this race, and it's going to be a really, really good race. I think we're all looking forward to it. You do not want to miss today's CCA Oaks.
Fox Saratoga Saturday. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern. Couple of graded stakes races. The Grade 1 CCA Oaks and the Grade 2 the Vandy. Much more on the Vanderbilt. All summer long, the summer lineup. Best horses, biggest races as promised. CCA Oaks Vanderbilt. Coverage begins 3 Eastern. Only on Fox. That's later on this evening. So much terrific racing between now and then as horses have arrived in the paddock for the second New York Breds, Fillies, and Mares 1 mile Wilson Shoot as we welcome Megan Burgess to the broadcast standing by in the paddock. Hey, Megan.
Hey, Lafitte. First Saturday here in Saratoga of the meet for me, and you can just feel the energy. I definitely had trouble kind of getting by people as the crowds have emerged here on a gorgeous day, but we've got a nice little starter allowance here out of that Wilson Shoot, which I do find makes things a little bit interesting. We'll start with the current favorite, the number 3, Power of Women, and I spoke with Horacio De Paz, who has admired how well this filly has been training as he does send her out first off of the claim, and while he doesn't have the best numbers doing so, especially past 3 years on dirt, just 4%. She looks fantastic. She's the pick of the paddock for me. I mean, she's strong and well-muscled. I really like the fact that she's getting to this mile distance for the very first time. It certainly looks to be what she will want. But the thing that she's going to have to ultimately contend with is the other speeds in this race. And when asking Horacio if she would be able to rate, he said, we shall see, as there is some speeds to her inside and outside. We'll see. It's definitely not going to be the same complexion of the race that she did win with that 73 Beyer speed figure, but she certainly looks the best here on site. The number 1, Lady Wisdom for the Matt Cantor Mossy barn, is an extremely fit individual, tall, leggy, has all the size, also one that's being ran first off of the claim. Now, her other problem is that she is best when utilizing her early speed, and she draws inside of those speeds coming out of the Wilson Shoot as she's currently being tacked outside of the saddling stall, but she's handling it incredibly well. She is very sharp, and she will have to find the right kind of trip, but I admired her just looking at her. She's very well defined, and she hasn't done anything wrong as she has been rolling on in good form. We'll see if she can take another step forward as she will have to find the right kind of trip. Ricardo Santana Jr. Lafitte looking for a second win on the day.
It's got to be the pants, man. Got to be the pants. Ricardo Santana. He'll ride Lady Wisdom to her outside and to your top selection. There she is, AP Slingshot.
I did something that's probably a fool's errand in a mile dirt race here. I took the horse that has the least speed, but I thought they'd be moving a little bit up front in this race. And Manny Franco, who's riding just lights out, he's close to being the leading rider here, which is amazing given the meets you're seeing from Jose and Flavian.
3 more wins yesterday.
I think he'll get at least within hailing distance, and I think they're going to be moving up front. And I thought this race could come apart a little bit late. 2-1 doesn't excite me though, but I took AP Slingshot.
Handicapping these races from the Wilson Shoot, Jonathan, what adjustments have you found yourself making?
I think that it's funny. This is the best way I can describe it. Is like I think it matters half the time, and so the other half it doesn't. So I just pretend it doesn't exist because I'm not going to be able to guess.
Will it matter this time?
When it matters and when it doesn't matter. I mean, I think that I don't think there's some big unfair situation. I don't think you don't want to be inside. You don't want to be outside. I think just you want to have the best horse in the race. So it's not something I even pay attention to.
And I think one of the best things has happened. I know, we started the meet. There was a big bias on opening day, and we were all talking about it. But since then, we've had a dirt track. I think it was one day. I think maybe it was last Sunday, where speeds seemed to be pretty good. But for the most part, we are seeing an incredibly fair racetrack. Horses are moving outside. We're seeing closers get in the race. And that's all you can hope for because you want everybody that runs their horses to at least feel like they had a fair chance. Most of the time, you're not good enough. But you hate to think you lost because the track hurt you.
That's what you want. Fair track. Her last race, a mismatch. Power of Women. Latest performance last month, Aqueduct. Heavy favorite, Andy. Power of Women simply strolls.
Well, I mean, Jonathan's dead right. If she's able to duplicate her 73 buyer in this performance, just a race that's fast by any standards you look at it, she's going to win this race. The concern to me is not so much the trainer change, is she's probably not making the lead in here with Savvy Sunset, Spirit of Esther, Timea. And if she does, maybe she's going too fast. So I worry, even though I picked her second, that maybe this race is not run in a favorable manner for her best talents.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a concern, and she's drawn inside, too, with speed to her outside, so she's likely going to get pressure. It's just hard for me to turn away from that last performance. If she runs that or close to that, she's going to be very tough to beat. And like you said, there's not a lot of people in the world that I would feel great claiming off of Rick Dutrow. I don't have a problem with Horacio, especially the meet he's having. I think that he can find this performance and help duplicate it with his training style.
That has nothing to do with the pants.
No, nothing to do with the pants.
Okay, nothing to do with the pants.
That's Ricardo Santana.
Because he might be wearing those pants to get you to be nice to him. I'm just throwing that out there.
Arad Ortiz to ride Power of Women, 7-time Saratoga champion jockey. Lavi and Pratt, 2-time Eclipse Award winning rider Jonathan. 21 wins thus far. 2 ahead of Jose Ortiz. A stakes sweep yesterday in the Rick Violet in the Grade 2 Shoe V.
Every time I look at the jockey standings here, the top doesn't usually surprise me too much. It's usually like around the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th spot that I think it's impressive. I think what you're seeing from Manning with 18 is pretty impressive. Ricardo right there with 11.
Jamie Rodriguez has 7 wins.
It's you know, this is the toughest meet. Toughest meet for jockeys, in my opinion, and the toughest colony in the world.
And there's so much pressure, you know. I think there's pressure on everybody up here, but it's, you know, you start out, you're doing lousy. It's tough to overcome it. I'm so happy for Manny doing as well as he is. I think the riders in general are riding very well up here, which is just great for the bettors, because the good rides, the less bad rides you get, you know, and that's the thing around here. We
are very lucky, because there's a lot of places where I look and I like a horse and I see the rider and I go, oh, geez. I do not do that here. You barely ever like a horse and have a problem with who's riding the horse.
I've been critical of Jamie Rodriguez's riding of the turf at times. He gave a ride to win the last race. I think you and I were on together, that 5.5 furlong turf race. And we both liked the 3. He gave about as good a ride to win that race as you could possibly give a racehorse. So he's really riding well. And 7 wins for Jamie, that's a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, he could come up here and win 4, and you wouldn't be shocked. So 7 right now, we're not even a third of the way through the meet.
Get that momentum going. As mentioned, Pratt yesterday, the stakes sweep. What a ride. I had fully subscribed. And Chad Brown told us earlier in the broadcast, wanted her a little further back. That's where Pratt had her, and that's how she was most effective, running down a really good filly.
It's funny. I had texted Seth Klarman, the owner, earlier in the week and said, you know, we've kind of fully subscribed been more aggressive in her races because she's had to be, because of the way the competition was. There seems to be a little more speed here. Shouldn't she just sit back and make one run? And Seth said, that's exactly what I just said to Chad, and he totally agrees. And so it worked out. I mean, the plans don't always work out. In this case, it did.
She was relentless.
That was an exciting stretch run.
Absolutely relentless. That was the Shoe V. On to the Personal Instant. That takes place on Travers Day. It's several weeks away, but the DraftKings Travers will be here before you know it. And what you want to start doing is building that bankroll. For the Travers last Saturday in August at NyraBets.com. You bet $50 to win. You earn a $20 bonus. Start building that bankroll towards the Travers. Opt in each week, NyraBets.com. Riders up, race 2, started the early pick 4. Call to post. New York Breds. And we'll start with Lady Wisdom, Ricardo Santana. Man, those pants, and trying to sweep the early double on the CCAO Saturday.
Yeah, this one might be a little tougher than the first race, but is coming off the claim for Matt Cantermachi, who's been doing well.
Number 2, AP Slingshot. Manny Franco, 2-1 co-favorite.
Yeah, this horse definitely wants the 3 and the 7 to hook up, and it could set up nicely for AP Slingshot.
Power Women, the favorite, a blowout winner downstate, claimed from Rick Dutrow by Horacio De Paz.
She is the horse to beat, but she may have trouble making the lead, and if she doesn't make the lead, is she as good as her last race?
Number 4, Savvy Sunset, Cantamasi brothers, both represented.
Yeah, I'm just concerned this horse's style doesn't fit well with these other faster horses early.
Lady Delilah out, Spirit of Esther in, second at 2, Ilkay Cantamasi.
Yeah, another one that has some speed. We'll see what these speed horses decide to do, with the favorite being one of them.
Speaking of which, she should be forwardly placed. Flavien Prat, Timea.
Yeah, I think she is going to be forward. I think any of the 3, 4, 6, and 7 could be forward, and you got to think Flavien's going to look for position. I just don't trust her to get the job done here. More of a second or third type horse.
Successful agenda, 19-1 Daylight Maiden winner last month.
Visually impressive, but the figure wasn't very fast.
I think that she's a wild card in here because at least she could have some upside. I agree she's going to have to run better than last time, and she beat up on a dreadful field last time. But, you know, she could have some upside. She's only run 2 times for a good trainer, and there are a lot of horses in here that have had a lot of chances.
Power of Women and 4 trainer Horacio De Paz. He doesn't have the volume, doesn't have that powerhouse stable like a Brown or a Pletcher or a Mott, but De Paz, and he's taking advantage of every opportunity, and his winners thus far early on here at Saratoga.
Saratoga is a track that makes people's careers and also breaks them for trainers. Think about Chad Brown. He had very few horses, had next to no success. He comes up here, he wins some races. Moram ends up winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and his career just took off. Juvenile Phillies Turf took off from there. Horacio's been around, and anyone that follows the game knows how good he is. But you come up here to Saratoga and you win like he did the first week or so, it turns some heads, and it's only going to help his business, and he's only going to keep doing better and better.
Blindsided a couple of occasions with first-time starters. One paid $30-some-odd, another paid $70-some-odd. Yeah. Horacio De Paz with Power of Women here. She is the favorite, 9-5 to Megan trackside.
And the 2 Lafitte AP Slingshot could certainly be the beneficiary of getting some pace to run out, and she should have just that. As she's not the best out of the gate, and when looking at her, it does make a little bit of sense as she's incredibly fit. She's just not the strongest behind, and she was very forward in the paddock, but not over the top by any means, but she certainly has her mind on business. As she did well last time out on June the 20th, where it felt to me as she was a little bit further back than maybe what she was best at, and she was well off of the slow pace and really the only one that really made up ground that day. So I find she's the one you want to bet if you're going to look for the setup of the speeds to potentially come apart. Even though I did land on a speed horse, she's the one that makes the most sense on paper, though lacking some of the wow factor physically of perhaps a horse like the 3. The number 7, Timea, she's a very robust type. She is wearing wraps on all 4. She's kind of the shorter coupled, stronger, even more sprint forward individual looking at her. And she's just not a horse that wins very often, but she always runs well. Is today her day for Wayne Potts, who is looking for his first winner of the meet? And, you know, the thing about this horse is the blinkers came on for the first time. This was back on May the 24th. And the last time she wore them, she kind of, before that, she broke through the gate and was kind of a little bit exposed by them, but she got a good effort when getting them back on, and I expect the same from her. She's just not a very trustworthy win candidate. The number 8, Successful Agenda, Joe Sharp, with last out maiden winners on the dirt on the NYRA circuit, is 0 for 8. So obviously cold on the tote board for a very strong barn whose horses do well here. I'm just a little bit dubious facing winners for the first time, albeit has that blowout victory back on June the 11th, where she had a pocket trip, held the rail, and was absolutely dominant. Though with 5 horses to come out of that race, none of them have won. So it was a weaker field. She does contend with more experienced types, much more experienced types, but as always, Joe's horses always look fantastic and ready for the task, Lafitte.
7-1 if you like her. Successful Agenda. Timea will break to her inside. Consistent filly, Andy, typically in the money right there. 2 for 20 lifetime.
She doesn't get it done. Do want to mention Wayne Potts has won a race. He won the last race the other day. In fact, that horse that Jamie Rodriguez gave the great ride to was trained by Wayne. She's got a win. He had a win back in Belmont Stakes week as well. I think Timmy is a player. The last 2 figs are good, Jonathan. She's not really a winning type, and doesn't she also project to get kind of an outside trip on a pace that might be a little hot?
Yeah, I mean, I think that her draw helps her quite a bit. I struggle when horses where, look, the 3 has some things to overcome. But if I'm getting 2-1 on the 3, who I think is better than the 7, I'm getting 3-1, I would much prefer the 2-1. I would need a little bit of a better price to take a shot with the 7.
Well, you know, now that the bettors who are favoring riders, they have to make a decision. Are they betting Irad? Are they betting Jose? Are they betting Flavien?
If it says Ortiz, they're betting.
The money does still favor Flavien. That Muhammad Ali name, what was it? Not float like a butterfly yesterday, but whatever. That horse being 6-1 shows how much they'll bet on Irad.
How should our viewers watch these races and just make subtle notes to themselves in terms of how they see the races run? Not necessarily who wins, Jonathan, but how the track might be playing, looking ahead to the CCA Oaks this evening.
Well, I mean, I think that, you know, the first way to identify how a track is playing is to handicap the race. And when a horse that you love runs poorly, try to ask yourself if something about the racetrack affected him.
Blame the track.
Or if a horse that you don't like runs really well, ask yourself, did the racetrack help them in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way to look at bias is after races. You know, speed horses won. Did they run better figures? Did speed carry them? Did the rail carry them? Also, you see a 30-to-1 improbable horse try to wire a field. Maybe it doesn't win, but it holds on for a good second and outruns its odds. Those are the kind of things that may point out a bias. Whether or not we're going to see that, I doubt it.
From the Wilson Chute, Power of Women, 2-to-1, the favorite. There goes Flavien Prat and Timia. Frank Miramati with the call. Race 2 from the spa live on FS1.
Thank you, Lafitte. There's Timia taking up her spot. And the last one to load is Successful Agenda. Going in. They're in the gate. Got a very restless runner in there. Let's go back to Lafitte.
A very restless Spirit of Esther jockey Tyler Gaffalione. You saw him limping as he was dislodged, and Spirit of Esther really acting up, and now they'll back the runners out of the starting gate. We'll have a delay before the start of this second race.
Maybe Maggie would remember. I don't remember Spirit of Esther as being a horse that acts up in the gate. She runs pretty consistently and usually shows up. Hopefully Tyler is seen to be limping. Hopefully he is okay, and hopefully she's okay as well.
See him cringing a bit there and favoring that right foot. Tyler Gaffalione, who, you know, it's going to, for riders, it's going to happen at one point or another. For Gaffalione, a significant injury. Part of the reason you didn't see him at Saratoga last summer. A late scratch just being announced by Frank Miramati. Spirit of Esther and Timia. Both Spirit of Esther and Timia. Late scratches before the start of this second at Saratoga. I'll follow up with Gaffalione, Jonathan, but this race now completely turned upside down.
Yeah, definitely changes the way things. Both of those horses had some speed, but we'll see what happens there. Obviously, the important thing right now is see how Tyler is.
How Spirit of Esther is, how Timia is. There she is. Again, the late scratches, numbers 6 and 7 out. Quickly, Andy, in terms of the race shape, how is this second race impacted?
Well, it hugely helps the 3 and negatively affects the number 2. There's now only one other speed, and that's the 4 Savvy Sunset. And if Gonzalez is not aggressive with her and he allows himself to be intimidated by Irad Ortiz, then the number 3 is going to make the lead and cruise to victory, make 6-5 looking like an overlay. We'll see how aggressive the rider is, the 4, who is faster than her early, but sometimes these riders get intimidated by a rider of Irad Ortiz's stature, and it changes the race, and it hurts both the 2 and 8, particularly the number 2, a lot less pace.
Numbers 6 and 7, late scratches before this second race. Spirit of Esther, Timia. You saw Tyler Gaffalione being tended to. Remember, that's why he didn't ride at Saratoga last summer. He was healthy enough at the start of the meet, but he was just coming back from injury, so decided to stay in Kentucky, ride at Ellis. Now he's healthy, riding well, and we don't know the extent of it, but banged up before the start of the second race.
Last year it was his left ankle, and based there they had something looking at his right lower extremity.
Already has his boot off.
If you had the 6 and the 7 in the multi-race wager, you will get the post-time favorite, which is currently the 3. So if you had the 6 or the 7, you now have the 3 in those early multi-race wagers.
Tyler Gaffalione there. Any update on his condition? We will pass that along. Banged up as his mount, Spirit of Esther, really thrashing, acting up in the starting gate. The late scratches, Spirit of Esther, Timia, numbers 6 and 7 out.
Please, the track veterinarian has advised another scratch here.
Another scratch forthcoming. Number 4, Savvy Sunset.
Now the 3 can't lose. There's almost, without an incident at the starting gate, the number 3 horse should be 1-5 in this race. This race is over.
Numbers 4, 6, and 7, all late scratches before this second race. And circling back, Andy, how does this all work for the multi-race wagers?
Keep in mind, even for the pick 4 that starts in here, just pick 5s and pick 4s, you get the post-time favorite. Pick 3s, you're going to get a consolation if you had any of these horses going into the next race. I don't know if there's a refund or not if it started at pick 3 here. Doubles, if you're alive in the double in any of those horses, consolations. But pick 4, even if you started here in the pick 4 and you used them, you're going to get the post-time favorite if you don't cancel your tickets. Pick 5s, you're going to get the post-time favorite, which is clearly going to be the 3, who, in my opinion, should be 1-5 in this race now with the scratches.
Gaff Leone in the cart. Any update on his condition? We'll pass along. Something going on with his right foot. Don't want to speculate. As the riders there that are still riding in this race wait until they get remounted and reloaded. But when was the last time you saw something like this, Jonathan? 3 late scratches at post time with the horses in the gate.
Yeah, it's been a while since you've seen this many. Usually it's one horse affected, maybe the horse in the stall next to him, but to have 3 is unique.
Yeah, you don't see this situation. I don't know exactly what took place, but obviously a delay here in a very, very different race. And this is now a completely different race than the one that was lining up in the gate before the incident. And I know I would have picked the 3 if I knew this was going to be the situation, but that's the least of your concerns. I'd hope Kyler's okay. You really hate to see him get hurt.
And then he could be back riding later on this afternoon. We know nothing. We know that you just saw him leave in the cart favoring his right foot or ankle, and that he was named on 2 mounts in both stakes races. And he's supposed to ride in the Vanderbilt on Cat on Time at 15-1, and Dendona in the Coaching Club American Oaks, another long shot, but still a mount in a Grade 1 and a Grade 2 race.
No, you don't want to miss any mounts. You don't want to miss anything. You don't want to miss any time. You're here to ride. You're here to win races, and it's tough. These guys are very competitive, and it's tough, and we just hope he's okay, You don't know. At very worst, at the very least, you just sort of hope, maybe he misses today. You want him to come back, but maybe if he's out for the day and he comes back tomorrow, who knows? It's hard to speculate.
For the connections, for owners and trainers, none of us are horsemen, but you imagine the level of frustration whether you're in a partnership, owners go to Saratoga on a Saturday, big day, you want to watch that horse run, or for a trainer who has a horse prepared for race day, it's game time, and something like this happens.
Yeah, I mean, when you see, the post-race interviews and you see the joy from owners, it's because it's very hard. Things like this can happen. There's a million ways for your horses to not get to the gate. And it's one of those situations where when they do get there and they win, it's why it's so rewarding.
No, and I agree. I mean, even, I understand this is, not as prestigious as the bigger races later, but if you're involved in a race, especially in Saratoga, that race is the Travers to you. You want to win in Saratoga. You're not going to get that many opportunities, and it's disappointing.
Frank Miramati with the call. Race 2 live from Saratoga.
We're in the gate. And they're off. And it is Power of Women who spurts away right away. Opens up a couple of lengths in the first 16th of a mile. On the outside, Successful Agenda is in second, with Lady Wisdom on the rail in hand, traveling comfortably, only 2 lengths off the pace. And AP Slingshot will have to unleash a big rally to catch this trio. And they went through that quarter in 24 seconds flat. And it's the heavy favorite, Power of Women, bounding along with a 2.5 length lead. Lady Wisdom inches up on the inside to take second, and will try to attack the heavy favorite as they head to the half-mile pole. Successful Agenda gets some nudges, not responding at this stage. A gap of 5 to AP Slingshot, 47 seconds flat around the far turn. And it is Power of Women cruising along. The whip being shown to Lady Wisdom now, not getting closer. Power of Women is just breezing to the quarter pole. And Power of Women would take some catching. Lady Wisdom is in second. AP Slingshot a distant third. Coming through mid-stretch. and it's Power of Women by 8 lengths. Lady Wisdom gave it a shot and is second. The other two well behind. Power of Women is clear by 5 and has to be worked upon to stay focused. She aired. Second to Lady Wisdom, more than a dozen back to AP Slingshot and Successful Agenda.
Reminiscent of her stroll downstate in her latest back-to-back blowout wins. Power of Women, her cause aided by the late scratches, and she takes full advantage.
Yeah, that was nice and easy. She just popped away from there, made the lead, got comfortable, never really had any pressure. It was a nice, easy ride for Irad Ortiz.
I mean, in fairness to her, she went a respectable second quarter. It's not like she just went this ridiculously slow pace. Probably a good chance she would have won this race anyway, but as we said before the race, once those scratches came in, honestly, 3 to 5 was an overlay. She could have paid $220 in here.
For her, look, yeah, the table was set. Look, if you get a fastball groove to you, hammer it.
Yeah.
She did.
No, I mean, that's, listen, you can count on the best riders. They don't, they do the right thing. You got the best horse, a situation, you're the controlling speed like Irad, you just let her roll.
We'll take another look. Power of Woman. 7-time Saratoga champion jockey Irad Ortiz. A date with Counting Stars in the coaching club American Oaks. In case you're wondering about the late scratches with Timea and Savvy Sunset numbers 4 and 7, you watched Spirit of Esther really acting up, thrashing in the gate. Lady Delilah number 5 was already a scratch, so Savvy Sunset was right next door. It was Spirit of Esther acting up, in which the fillies who were inside and outside, both Savvy Sunset and Timea, were impacted, were affected, and for that reason declared late scratches.
Yeah, and listen, everybody, the most important thing, listen, right now I'm really concerned with Tyler, and I want him to do well, and I think the human connections are incredibly important. But, you're always there to protect the horses as well. And the other thing is you're protecting the bettors. Nobody wants to bet a horse that might be compromised by something that took place. I mean, we're all going to bet a lot of losers, but it's unfair. You're betting a horse that shouldn't be running to begin with. So it's protecting everybody, and it's not good for us. It costs us money from a handle perspective, but that doesn't matter. You have to protect the horses. You have to protect the bettors. That's what matters.
Top priority. Top priority. For that gentleman, top priority. Doing a lot of winning here at Saratoga. 5 days. 5 days he spotted the field, suspended at the start of the meet. He's making up for it in a big way. Irad Ortiz, Power of Women. We previewed the CCAO. What about the Vanderbilt? Top class sprinters and built. The morning line favorite. What'll he do in his Saratoga debut? That's next.
The joy of traveling well is feeling at home, yet a million miles away from home. Discovering new flavors, or savoring the ones you already love. Not knowing what lies beyond the horizon, but knowing what matters most to you. This is the joy of traveling well. Oceana Cruises.
afternoon in upstate New York. Welcome back. Saratoga Live on FS1. Coverage, as always, brought to you in part by Hill and Dale at Alapa. To Megan in the winner's circle.
Joined by Irad Ortiz Jr., who gets the victory aboard Power of Women, but obviously the story of this race, Irad, with some of those significant scratches at the beginning of the race. Can you kind of, it all took place to your outside, kind of a chaotic situation there.
I mean, we was Tyler's horse flip, unfortunately, you know, but he looks good. That's the main thing. He looks good. I know we know Tyler is a strong guy, so we need him here. He's a great guy to be around. We all love him. We love Tyler, so hopefully he's okay.
Our thoughts are obviously with Tyler and the safety and care of the horses involved, but you'll be aboard Counting Stars in the Coaching Club American Oaks later on today, and she's a horse that, to my eye in some of her races, do you find she's kind of comfortable with that inside position, and where do you see her trip lying out in this race?
Honestly, we have a couple of scratches on the race. Last time she broke from the post number 2, and she handled it very well. She broke good enough and was available to sit right in behind the speed and work out beautiful. I mean, just let him be hurt to the first turn and try to make a decision there, you know. Try to don't commit to anything earlier than that.
No different stakes power on a big day in Saratoga. You'll also have built in the Vanderbilt for Wayne Catalano, and he's really seemed to be a progressive, very talented type.
I rode him once. I mean, the first time I rode him, he was very, very nice. So after that, I think I thought he was a nice horse, a really nice horse. I get a chance to know him, and then last time missed the break. It was hard to win after he gave all the chance in the beginning, but he did a great effort. He finished second by a nice horse, and he run good. I mean, I think he will be live today. If he had a nice trip, he can get the job done.
Well, congratulations here. Best of luck the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Our thoughts are obviously with the Tyler Gaffalione and the connections of all of the horses involved in a chaotic beginning to this second race.
Tyler Gaffalione to first aid. All the horses walk back to the paddock. This filly basically walked over the finish line. Easy win, Power of Women.
Yeah, I mean, Andy said it. That 3 to 5, you look back, it was a gift.
There are some 3 to 5s that you kind of shake your head at. This one, and I also wonder if this race had been drawn as a 4-horse field, which it wouldn't have been run, but let's just say it was, I'm not sure she would have paid over 240 or 250 in that race. I think people just didn't just wait enough.
Rod Ortiz talking about Counting Stars. Agree, one of the best jockeys on the planet, right? Yeah. Agree. Yeah. If he wins that race, first Grade 1 win at Saratoga during the traditional summer meet, not the 4th of July Racing Festival, not the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival, first Grade 1 meet win. Traditional summer meet since the 2023 Spinaway. 2023 Spinaway with Brightwork.
Remarkable. I mean, it's absolutely remarkable. And I think it just shows, first of all, how tough it is to win those races. I used to take it for granted. You know, you say, well, Irad won 15 Grade 1s. Of course he won 15 Grade 1s. It's not that easy. Those races are hard to win.
Nothing to it. Like, the dude is clutch. We know that. It's just one of those things.
I'm sure if you look back on it, I think we could go over every single horse he rode and every ride he gave. I highly doubt we'd say, well, Irad should have won that.
Yeah.
I would go back. I'll tell you the last time in a Grade 1 I think he should have won a race that he lost, City of Light, when he lost the Forgo back in 2018 to Whitmore. I bet that's when Irad wishes he could have back. Other than that, he probably just wasn't on the right horse.
We'll see if it happens today in the Coaching Club American Oaks as we turn the page. 2-year-olds next, the boys. Spendthrift 2-year-old race of the day, home to #1 sires Into Mischief, Omaha Beach, Vekoma, Yaupon, the leaders of their sire classes in 2025. We're always intrigued by the wagering in these races. Handicappers see this one wide open. Ground Yaupon 2-1 early on. Jonathan, what do we think overall about this crew going in? What do we know about this crew?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing you know about Grand Yaupon is that the horse has already run. And you'd like to think for Steve Asmussen he'll improve second time out. I would imagine that's why he's taking the money he is.
Yeah, I mean, for me, 2 of my top 3 choices scratched, and the 3 and 4 I'd like the 4 Silverist for better or worse. I end up scratching into Grand Yaupon, which I'm okay with. I'm not dying to take a short price, and is going to be favored, at least based on the multi-race bets. But I'll take the experience here. You know, Belzoni on the outside for Bill Mott hasn't won with a 2-year-old first in the dirt in, I think, a few years here, including the favorite today's first. Have to play a Del Mar, who's a pretty nice horse that he used to train. Linda Rice has now. You got a couple from Todd Pletcher, could always be dangerous here. But I'm going to side with a horse with experience.
Promising prospects in this upcoming third race. Who knows, maybe an eventual Vanderbilt winner looms in this field as we transition to the Vandy. Go by the numbers. First run 1985. Alfred G. Vanderbilt, the man who campaigned. The great goes to Sagamore. Native dancer. Quickest of the quick, the little rocket ship. Imperial Hint whistling. 3/4 at 107.92. Biggest blowout L Deal running away and hiding. 8-length Rump in 2017. Most wins, only 2 have won it twice. Cognizant in the 80s. And that little rocket ship Imperial Hint. Most Vanderbilt wins by an owner. The number is 2. 5 owners, including Shadwell, have won it twice. Leading trainer, no surprise, Steve Asmussen. 4 Vanderbilt victories. Doesn't have a runner today. Vanderbilt leading jockeys. 2 riders, 4 wins apiece. Pat Day and Javier Castellano. Castellano back in action next week. From the Vanderbilt to the Breeders' Cup Sprint, number is 3. Included Speightstown in 2004. And Vanderbilt winners crowned champion. The elite accomplished by 4. Most recent, Bookham Dano last year. Alfred G. Vanderbilt by the numbers. Andy, going back to 85, I'm guessing you've seen most of them. Is there one in particular, a favorite Vanderbilt that comes to mind?
Oh, wow. Off the top of my head, no. There have been some really great runnings you mentioned. I almost remember this the most. This is the only race that Matoli lost in what he had, basically a horse of the year type campaign when he finished second in Bricks and Mortar. He rode a dead rail that day, but they're great races. And actually, you know, this race was originally named for A Phenomenon, who was a tremendous sprinter. So honestly, this race always makes me think, first of all, I used to see Alfred Vanderbilt at the track. He was there like every day. So I think of him and his legacy in racing. But I also think of A Phenomenon, a tremendous racehorse for trainer Angel Bennett Jr. that put on one of the single greatest Met miles ever when he and Fit to Fight battled the length of the stretch over a dozen lengths ahead of the rest of the field. So I like to think of A Phenom.
It's always a summer highlight, and these fast sprinters going as hard as they can right from the opening bell. And this year's edition shapes up as follows. The scratches, significant, just beat the odds, really changing the complexion of the race. He's out along with Crazy Mason. Built at the bottom with Arad Ortiz, 8-5 morning line favorite. Jonathan, why is Built considered the sprinter to beat going in?
Well, he's drawn well. There's not a lot of pace in the race. See what Damon's Mountain does from the inside. The scratch of the 4 helps Built quite a bit. I think Built is going to be very tough to beat because he's drawn so well, because he has tactical speed, because there's not a lot of pace in the race. Those are all the reasons I like him.
He's also 3 of his last figures have been triple-digit buyer speed figures, which are fast enough to win this race. He's absolutely, I agree, Jonathan Norris to beat, and the draw is great. I'm going to try to beat him with the horse inside of him, T-Craft, for Bill Mott, who I thought ran a race that makes him competitive when he came off the layoff 2 back. Did not run well in his next start. He broke a little slow from the inside, never got in the race. I think T-Craft's going to run a lot better today, but I have no illusion. I agree with you, Jonathan. Built is the horse he has to beat.
Alfred G. Vanderbilt, you'll see it live on Fox. Fox Saratoga Saturday. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern. When we return, horses in the paddock. This will be good. Always exciting. Spendthrift 2-year-old race of the day. Started at 50-cent mandatory payout. Pick 5. Freshman up next, the third in 17 minutes. You're watching Saratoga Live on Coaching Club American Oaks Saturday.
Charge, it is pouring it on, winning the Dwyer by the length of the stretch. Charge It wins it convincingly in this Grade 2 Suburban.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the NyraBets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch and bet on live horse racing from over 300 tracks worldwide. Get expert picks, play live money betting contests, and boost your bankroll with daily promotions. NyraBets is the official betting partner of Saratoga Racecourse. Sign up now. New members use promo code SPA200 to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with NyraBets.
Charlatan is the leading second crop sire by percent-graded stakes winners and percent-graded stakes horses. He is one of the leading Kentucky sires by percent stakes winners to starters.
To win the Wandering End, Charlatan, ultra impressive.
It's a new day for a new king.
Before your eyes, a landscape unlike any you've ever seen. The pulse of life, a kaleidoscope of culture. And there it awaits. Cheers of triumph that eclipse all joy before it. It's the Journey Japan Cup.
Buckle your chin straps. 2-year-olds next at Saratoga. Welcome back. Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 1. Big Saturday underway. And the Spendthrift 2-year-old race of the day in moments with these freshmen in the paddock. 6 furlong dash. You're looking at Foolin'. Maggie, this is where we lean on you most. Foolin', the expensive colt. What are you seeing?
Yeah, and he did cost a pretty penny, Lafitte, as you said, after working 9 and 4 at the OBS March sale. Looks pretty good doing it as well, where he is a bigger horse, and so therefore he does cover a good bit of ground, and it definitely didn't look as though he was going that fast in that workout, but actually, you know, it's all about the here and now. So let's check out his latest breeze from July 19th, where he was just a little slow, as we now hear a cacophony of voices here in the paddock, but he was on the inside of an unraced other colt, quickly got in front, and you can see he's just covering the ground effortlessly. So a horse that has that raw, natural ability. Now looking at him here in the paddock, like I said, that size is reflective. He so far has been one of the more professional horses here today. Looks fit enough, and I talked to Todd 2 days ago after he'd won a race, and I said, well, who do you like between the two? And he said, honestly, I think Foolin' is probably the quicker, more sprinter-meant type, as he is the son of Practical Joke. It's a little bit more turf/synthetic on the bottom side, but I think we find him in the right spot. Moving on to his other charge, number 7, Backlash, as he is a son of Gun Runner. And looking at his pedigree, it's slightly tilted to distance, though I will say that the second dam was Jacaranda, who won the Grade 3 Tempted as a 2-year-old, and so the dam is actually a full sister to BU, who is a stakes winning, however, dirt sprinter, though he has run well going a bit longer. Gosh, he looks so much like BU, from the coloring to the frame to kind of being a little bit more of a finer boned type of horse. We'll see if going this 6 furlongs is what he wants to do. I wouldn't be surprised if, kind of like what Todd hinted at, that he'd want a little bit more ground given his frame, given the way that he has been working as well. It just feels like he's a horse that needs to get into a rhythm rather than being rushed off of his feet. So we'll see, though. Todd looks well represented in this group here, Lafitte.
The Pletcher duo, pricey colts, Foolin' and Backlash. An update, Jamie Rodriguez to ride number 2 Warrior at Hart, scheduled to be ridden by Tyler Gaffleone. He's going to miss this race, will be reevaluated. We'll see about the remainder of his mounts. As for that colt, towards the outside in ground, Yalpon, currently 5-2 to be ridden by Jose Ortiz. Busy afternoon, as expected on a Saturday at Saratoga. 8 mounts, Jonathan, going in. And of course, riding, always a runner in the Coaching Club American Oaks.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, it's a busy day. I mean, I can't even be on TV for longer than 5. I get tired. They're out there riding them.
Yeah. Well, they want to be riding, so they don't want to be sitting in the room, believe me. Be interesting to see what happens.
You're expecting, or your selection, Grant, you're expecting to see Jose in the winner's circle after this one, Andy?
Well, I never feel that kind of confident, especially with 2-year-olds and first-time starters. And, you know, once again, was not my original top choice. But comes out of a race where the winner was another early voting that was impressive, breaking his maiden first time out. He had a flight line there, ran second. Now did not come back and run well, but ran so badly something went wrong. And the third-place finisher improved 1 buyer point to win, so it seems like a legitimate race in there. You got a rider switched, Jose Ortiz, experience for Steve Asmussen. Just think is likely the horse to beat. I don't know. Listen, you never know. It's a Saturday in Saratoga. There could be a future Grade 1 winner in here. I have not heard reports suggesting that this is a loaded race, but that could change. I do agree with Maggie that Foolin' with the 9 4/5 workout, the 2-year-old sale is probably the right other one in this race, the right one of the Todd horses. But hey, maybe Gold on Black for Gold Square and Riley Mott could be a runner as well.
Look, I think playing the musical jockeys game is a mistake at times. There's so many things that go on behind the scenes. But I will say that it grabbed my attention that Irad is riding a horse that is not for Rapoli and Pletcher and riding the other Pletcher. That to me is something.
That's fair.
Maggie, what about that colt? Al Gold's debuting runner, Gold on Black.
Yeah, named after his silks, I suppose. But Gold on Black, as we'll look at the Mott family duo of horses here. He's a horse that is a son of Epicenter. We'll take a look here at his latest breeze, which was on the inside of Hal's Owl today, who actually won his first start, a maiden special weight at Churchill. And to my estimation, while he was setting the pace, Gold on Black, he was going better late and went a length clear on the gallop out. Now, before that, he was working in company out of the gate with Atlas AI, who was a good second on her debut. Didn't work quite as good as that filly. Now, maybe as these 2-year-old colts tend to be, a little bit of later developing types. When he walked into the paddock, he was the one very talkative, a little spooky, rearing up. Since they've gotten the tack on him so far, though, so good, and I appreciate that. He does wear blinkers like he has in those workouts, but as a physical, I do like what I'm seeing from this guy. It's kind of actually a little bit of a New York bred pedigree on the bottom, but some horses that have been earlier types. So watch how he behaves out in the racetrack. If he minds his P's and Q's, he could be very live here, as we'll check out Papa Mott's. That's Bill Mott's number 10, Belzonian here, a son of Gun Runner. And the dam, she did win first time out. She was a stakes winning dirt sprinter as well, as you heard Andy say, to a decent horse that runs around here in Playa del Mar. But Belzoni, beautifully put together. I mean, honestly, as far as conformation is concerned, he's the one that I do like the most. However, he does look a little bit soft around the edges, like a race is really going to benefit him just from that fitness standpoint. And watching some of his workouts, it just seems as though that proverbial light bulb isn't quite on. He's just doing what his workmate is, just enough. So that's probably why he isn't quite as fit as you'd like to see yet. Lafitte feels like there's talent. It just hasn't been unearthed yet with Belzoni.
We'll see what he reveals today in his debut. The Godolphin homebred, Jonathan Belzoni, team sovereignty here, Junior Alvarado, Bill Mott.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm usually not cutting in line to bet Bill Mott first-time starters. They win occasionally, but I just feel like they're the type you want a little bit more down the line.
I agree, but then again, he went down in flames at a super shirt price in the first race, and you know how that works in the racetrack sometimes. They come back and win at a big mutual the second time, but overall, I agree. Bill does a lot of things well. He's not a guy that points to win first time out. It took Sovereignty a couple races to break his maiden, and he turned out to be pretty good.
Can you clarify the distinction between this trainer's really good with first-time starters? Yeah, that trainer's really good, but he doesn't get, like, he's not as good statistically with first-time starters, and the fact that it's not about who's good at it and who might not be. It's more about intent.
Yes, I agree. I try not to say that. I try not to say bad with first-time starters, because you're not bad with first-time starters if you're not trying to win with first-time starters. You're either good or it's not something that you do.
We did just hear an update on Tyler that Tyler Gaffalione's off all of his mounts today. I did hear from his agent, who said he spoke to him on the phone.
Matt Musiker?
He said he's sore. Matt Musiker, his agent. He said he's sore, doesn't think anything's broken, and he said he sounded good. So hopefully it's just one of those things where he's not going to ride today, and I'm sure they'll look into it, but keep our fingers crossed that he's just a little sore and okay.
Sore, he doesn't believe anything's broken, but off his mounts the remainder of the afternoon.
The other thing, and you know this well, being that your father was one of the greatest rider perhaps of all time, is a rider doesn't want to ride if he isn't sure he's 100%, because it's not fair to the connections. It's not fair to the bettors, you know? The last thing you want to do is go out there and think you lost the race because you felt you had to ride and you really weren't 100%. So there's a lot that goes into making these decisions to ride. The last thing Tyler wants to do is take off. But sometimes that's just the situation. You have to do what's best for everybody.
You also get that adrenaline going. Last ride of my old man's career, he wound up with a broken neck. Obviously didn't know it at the time. He was trying to talk the doctors there into he's like, I'm good. I can go back to ride one more, because he had a mount on a horse named Redatory in a Grade 1 race, the Kilroe Mile.
We have a lunatic that works with us that rode for a long time with a broken neck. He won 4 races one day with a broken neck.
Nobody.
I forget his name.
Nobody tougher than the MiG. 2-year-old. Spendthrift 2-year-old race of the day. We start with Blackjack, first of 2 colts with any experience.
Well, this one has experience and ran behind the very talented Booked, who came back to win a stake as next star. He shouldn't be disregarded.
Number 2, Warrior at Heart. Jamie Rodriguez picks up the mount.
Yeah, horse is a half to Honor Marie. Honor Marie wanted to run 2 miles.
Numbers 3 and 4 out. Cactus Closer, another fresh face. Santana looking for a second win.
First of 2 straight practical jokes. This one worked 10 flat. The 2-year-old sails and goes out for Dale Romans. I think a little more turfy, though, on the dam side at least.
Foolin', Spendthrift, Ackerley debuting colt.
Yeah, the money that's showing up for this horse, Irad Ortiz riding this one and not the Rapoli outside of him, I think is a signal.
The Pletcher duo. Then Backlash, Mike Rapoli's flashy first-time starter.
Well, this is the one not taking money for Pletcher. We'll see if that's the case.
Gold on Black, 8-1. Luis Saez rides.
Yeah, Epicenter shows up here in Epicenter. Riley Mott, you get Luis Saez, always helpful to get horses out of the gate.
He has experience. He's a second choice. Grandry Alpine.
Yeah, probably will vie for favoritism by post time. There's a lot of Irad Ortiz money, but not sure why there's not Jose Ortiz money either.
Balzoni, Godolphin, homebred 9-1.
Yeah, heck of a pedigree. The workout report seems pretty consistent with this one. I just don't love Bill Mott first-time starters.
One of those races, not just about who wins, but what this could be the start of 2-year-olds. The boys next at Saratoga. And for jockey Irad Ortiz and the success over the years, Andy, between he and his brother, going back more than a decade, Luis Saez is the only jockey not named Ortiz to have captured a riding title here at Saratoga.
It's really remarkable when you think about it, and that's Irad, his consistency, and he's a rider that takes a $5,000 claiming race as seriously
that
as a
12-5
Breeders' Cup
claimer
Classic.
yesterday.
He
Perfect
doesn't.
example.
Irad doesn't take races off. He doesn't think, oh, it's this one doesn't really matter, because he knows it matters to somebody. And I'll tell you one thing, he's on a free roll at this meet. Because if he ever wins this title with the kind of lead that his brother and Flavien Prat had after a full week of racing, of 5 days of racing, it would be his greatest accomplishment.
I don't think it's that far out of reach.
He would be holding it over his brother for the rest of his life.
That doesn't feel like a 30-point deficit in the fourth quarter. It feels
I
like
spotted
a
you 14.
Yeah.
I spotted you 14. You still couldn't beat
Give
me.
me 5 days and not one more. 5 days and that's it. Irad Ortiz fooling, revving his engines, as is Backlash. And you see those Rapoli colors. Backlash at 6-1. And a chance at redemption for Zany, a filly who was so highly regarded as a 2-year-old filly. Jonathan, remember, with all the focus today on Always a Runner and Counting Stars, it was Zany who was the post-time favorite in the Kentucky Oaks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that Zany's performance as a 2-year-old isn't some of the best work we've seen from this group. She was outstanding. She just hasn't really turned the corner. But that's the good thing about these races that you get to see up here in the summer is they can kind of grow up, they can improve, they can get a little bit better, and maybe Zany is the type that could be doing that right now.
I was her biggest fan. I would have bet her as the favorite for the Kentucky Oaks after that Demoiselle race. Was a tremendous race. You know, you give her a pass the first time she won.
Yep.
You know, you're going to improve. And, you know, she might have been the best horse in the Ashland. Percy's Bar had a better trip. But Percy's Bar's gone on to not be that good going forward. Her Kentucky Oaks was just bad. I mean, for her quality. It wasn't a bad for
expected more. Expected more.
But today she might be in a favorable spot. I'm skeptical a little bit, but today is a day where she's going to have more favorable circumstances in all likelihood. So if she's going to get back to a big win, today could be the day.
She could be a better price as well.
Yeah,
yes.
She should be at least third choice in the wagering. CCA Oaks. Right back to Maggie.
Picking up actually with the Zany conversation, I love the way that she's been working into this race, and she, with the blinkers on, has been very aggressive in the morning. They actually took them off for her latest breeze, which she still looked to be moving incredibly well. As we'll take a look here at a horse who has experience, who has been vying for favoritism and has clicked over to 2-1 right now, and that's Grand Yalpon. He broke well, but he just couldn't quite keep up. Then he was down on the inside, and I just thought he stayed on evenly behind a gate-to-wire winner in Ballantyre. Obviously, we saw Midnight Still come back and run very well, breaking his maiden for Kenan LaRose with an 80 buyer. But all of the other horses regressed a bit in that race that have come back. So, I mean, maybe it's a moot point, but I did think it was a little bit interesting that nobody else really went on from there. He's a beautifully put together horse, very handsome, incredibly professional, you know, much the same. Experience speaks volumes. We saw it in the first baby race of the day. I like him as a favorite. I have no problems. I wanted to get a little creative. But let's talk about Whit Beckman's first-time starter, Warrior at Heart, who he is very familiar with this pedigree, as this is a half to honor Marie, who did win the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club for Whit as a 2-year-old. And I mean, it is weirdly a lot of turf in the second generation, but I like the fact that this guy shows up here. Once he got the tack on and Jamie Rodriguez on his back, he really woke up, and he's gotten quite a lively warm-up. Now, does he probably want to go a little bit further than this, looking at him and taking his pedigree into consideration? Yes, of course, but Jamie's doing the right thing. A horse that probably wants to go longer, you get them really warmed up, so they're not totally out-footed here. One I want to watch with interest, as well, I am actually going to land on number 8 in here, Gold on Black for Riley Mott. I said I wanted to watch how he warmed up, and if he was professional, he absolutely was. I totally get the 9 is much the horse to beat here, but I really like this horse, and I like that breeze he comes in here off of, Lafitte.
7-1, Maggie, Gold on Black, approaching the starting gate. Final thoughts before this Spendthrift 2-year-old race of the day?
Especially on Saturdays, there's always anticipation with the 2-year-old races. You know, are we seeing a hopeful horse? Are we seeing a champagne horse? You know, these are colts, Brizette, you know, fillies, spin away, Breeders' Cup. We've certainly seen a lot of very, very good horses break their maidens here on Saturdays in Saratoga.
Those colors you just saw, Rapoli, 2-year-old.
Fiercest won a race up here.
Uncle Mo.
Uncle Mo.
Uncle Mo is that.
They were pretty good, right?
They were pretty good.
Uncle Mo. Uncle Mo. I was always sorry that Uncle Mo had physical things that kept him on the racetrack, because he was
awesome.
Incredibly
It all starts
talented.
here. 2-year-old Saratoga Spendthrift 2-year-old race of the day. Here's Frank Miramati.
Here's Foolin, and Belzoni completes the line. Going in. They're in the gate. And they're off. Grand Yalpon and Belzoni are both very quick away from there, and so is Cactus Closer, who moves up as well right into the mix. Blackjack flying through along the inside. And so Blackjack is the quickest. Cactus Closer in between horses. Grand Yalpon is 3 deep in third. Belzoni joined at the rail by Foolin, who takes that 4th spot, only 3 lengths off the lead. Gold on Black is next. The 2 trailers, Warrior at Heart and Backlash, 22-2 for the opening quarter mile, and they're battling it out. Grand Yalpon is in the mix. Blackjack is down at the rail. Cactus Closer in between them. Belzoni is looming on the outside 4th, and down at the rail, Foolin is in with a chance too, just looking for a spot and finding it. Foolin cuts the corner at the top of the stretch, and just like that has opened up too. Grand Yalpon, Belzoni on the outside, Gold on Black belatedly. Grand Yalpon will have to hold off Belzoni. These two coming to the wire, and Belzoni cruising up alongside. Grand Yalpon's gonna have to dig deep, and he's doing just that. Grand Yalpon or Belzoni. Belzoni, Grand Yalpon, here's the line. Grand Yalpon would not be denied. Belzoni fired lights out, but just missed. Way back there was Foolin in 3rd, and it was a photo for 4th between Backlash and Gold on Black.
Furious stretch battle. Grand Yalpon turns back the challenge of Belzoni in an exciting Spendthrift 2-year-old race of the day.
That was an outstanding race. I mean, and look, Foolin got a great trip. Irad did everything he could right up the inside. Grand Yalpon got headed, was 3 wide, was in the pace, looked like he was gonna get run down by the Godolphin horse on the outside, and still hung on.
There are narrow victories where you feel like the horse got lucky to win, and it maybe if the 10 had beaten the 9, you would have said he was fortunate. But the 9 did all the dirty work in this race. Makes you wonder a little about the inside, doesn't it, with the 6? Highly touted Todd Pletcher horse, makes the move to the rail, feeds as badly as he did. We'll take a look at the start as well.
Grand Yalpon winning this race after this happens at the start. Slams.
Well, he did it.
Gold on Black. Wow, just a serious collision. And for a young 2-year-old, just a 2nd career start, to shake that off and go about his business and win like that. Wow.
It's a nice win by him, you know, because he did, as you said, Jonathan, all of the dirty work here. You said to me in the turn, man, the Mott's sitting in a perfect position.
Oh, I thought he was going to run by him. I'll tell you this, whatever the figure comes back for the 9, I'm going to add about 5 or 6 points mentally, because that horse ran tremendous.
To put it into perspective, I'm not sure it's exactly a half a second faster in the first race, but I think it's a little closer. Those were fillies. but it does indicate that the track is not playing incredibly quickly, because I think this horse is okay. And it's the second horse too.
He's okay. He's gonna be all right.
Yeah, he might get in the Hall of Fame eventually, right?
Might be all right.
Places cars. What's he got, like 30,000 career wins now? He might have 1,000 wins this year.
All-time leading trainer in the history of North American racing, Steve Asmussen, and he broke that record right here 5 years ago at Saratoga. So many terrific moments here over the years. This is where he unveiled eventual champion Echo Zulu back in 2021, Mimis Aurelia back in 2011. Yeah, we've seen some special 2-year-olds here at Saratoga unveil. This is not a first-time starter, but Asmussen with 2-year-olds at the spot.
I think a lot of people forgot about Echo Zulu's performances up here when she ran the honorable miss and won by 100 lengths, and then she absolutely crushed 2-time Breeders' Cup filly and mare sprint winner Goodnight Olive. Probably ran her best race ever. Yep. And Echo Zulu just dusted her like she was a claimer. Echo Zulu was really one of the good ones over the last decade.
She was special. Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly winner and a champion. As for Grandi Alpine, that's the first step. He graduates in the Spendthrift 2-year-old race of the day. Trainer Steve Asmussen, Jose Ortiz. A date with Always a Runner this evening in the Coaching Club American Oaks on Fox.
Excelling on a cross of New York turf and Kentucky bluegrass. A 6-time graded stakes winner, including the Grade 1 4-Star Dave, Grade 1 Turf Mile, and the Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile by leading champion European sire, Lope de Vega. So he's got that going for him. Carl Spackler, the ultimate greenskeeper, standing at Lane's End.
Welcome back to Saratoga Live here on Fox Sports, as we just saw a great baby race as Grand Yalpon just noses Belzoni to the wire, but he did all of the hard work up front. Please be joined by his trainer, Steve Asmussen. And Steve, we were just talking about how good this guy performed today.
He really did. You know, as you mentioned, Jose had him in great position. You know, nice challenge from the outside, and he picked it up to the wire. Nice separation by the top two from the rest of the field, and both nice horses.
Looks like you do have some nice 2-year-olds in your barn. So gearing up, you know, obviously for our stake series that we have here in Saratoga, you know, where do they all fit? How do you kind of map out their campaigns?
Well, they do separate themselves kind of from a maturity standpoint. You know, some are a little, you know, earlier and ready now. I mean, I think you got examples like Booked. I mean, not Grand Yalpon. I mean, both of them being Sons of Yalpon. I love their demeanor, obviously their ability, but they're just so pliable. And just like you said, when they came to him when he was challenged, he found more. And that's a sign of a good horse.
The Yalpons really do have great dispositions. I think they're why they're very popular.
Yes, they do. You know, just something he's passed along to them really well. They got a very distinct look to them. Obviously, they're very athletic, but he always had such a great demeanor. For such a fast horse, he was extremely laid back and push button.
Big morning for the big horse with Magnitude of Breezing and Company. Worked a minute and flat. Minute and 1 with his Tastic, but looked so good in doing so. Jose Ortiz in the irons.
He did. You know, had another beautiful work. He is trained like that this year. Obviously, the results that he's had this year show that, but it's what a wonderful feeling to have a horse with the accomplishments that he's had recently, doing as well as he is. And obviously, with the Whitney as a target, he's going to have to be at his best again.
Looking forward to him, but congratulations here for sure.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And Lafitte locked and loaded on Magnitude for this year's Whitney.
Magnitude, Maggie, as you take another look at Grand Yalpon, it's getting harder and harder, Jonathan, not to make that comparison, man. Trying not to say Magnitude is gun runner. All right, what we can say is that they are on the exact same paths. Both made their last start in the Clark as 3-year-olds and as 4-year-olds. Both then went to the Razorback, Dubai World Cup, Stephen Foster, Whitney, both combined. The only loss was Gun Runner to Arrowgate in that freakish performance in Dubai.
Yeah, I mean, he's got one up on Gun Runner at this point. He won the Dubai World Cup. I got to tell you, I'm just so excited for the Whitney. It's going to be an amazing race this year. It's a race worthy of its name.
Well, I will say this, though. Gun Runner became Gun Runner in the Breeders' Cup Classic, kind of where he kind of really took the authority. So for me, Magnitude's story's not over yet. He is trending in a direction of looking very similar to a Gun Runner.
It's really a crime that he didn't win the Travers last year. A crime.
Because he picked him. But for this colt, it's not surprising watching him get better. While Gun Runner was running 3rd in the Kentucky Derby, back then, as we said, I was like, yeah, he ran 3rd in the Derby, but just wait till you see how good he is next year.
I would also argue that his career turned around. He was 2nd in the Breeders' Cup Mile when they were aggressive with him. In the Clark, I think he ran the first time he ran a very big buyer figure, like run a 10-ish, but they were aggressive. They started setting him the lead, and once they started being aggressive with Gun Runner, and he developed, he got older, he really turned into the superstar he was, and he was tremendous throughout that season.
The Whitney, August 8th. You'll see it live on Fox, just like the Coaching Club American Oaks this evening. Coverage begins in less than an hour. Closer than that is the 4th race. New York Breds, first look at turf racing this afternoon. Mile on the inner turf course. Honoree at 9 to 5. Much more on this 4th race when we come back as our coverage continues on this Saturday at the Spa. What a year for Jose Ortiz. The Oaks, the Derby, the Belmont. It's just July. The biggest season of his career. Ice in his veins. Dude is clutch. A date with always a runner in the Coaching Club American Oaks.
Every 2-year-old champion has precocity, but only one can be called fierce.
Fierceness!
Brilliant at 2.
A powerhouse win!
Dominant at 3.
Fierceness is putting on a show in Hallandale today! Fierceness to win the Travers!
Tenacious at 4.
Fierceness has won the Pacific Classic!
All the makings of a champion. Fierceness. New to Coolmore America.
This is where it all begins.
These are the recruits for next year. They're going to be part of our roster, part of our team.
The pavilion, it was jam-packed. It has remained jam-packed.
Phenomenal feeling in the pavilion, on the grounds, in the back ring.
You have a chance to make 5, 10, 100x.
Big sale with a lot of quantity, but they're going to sell over 4,000 horses here.
We had quality racehorses today, I believe, that will go on and we'll be reading about in years to come.
Keeneland sale. You got to be here.
Up alongside of Knightsbridge, and now these two will turn for home together. Imagination on the outside to the front. Knightsbridge back into second. Tio Elvis, the horse from Japan, has rushed up on the outside, and he has taken the lead. He's taking off. Oh, look at Tio Elvis pull away in the last 16th of a mile. He meant business today. Japan's Tio Elvis crushed him.
Elvis is in the building.
Yes, he is.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
My name is Randy Boyd, president of the University of Tennessee System.
Randy and I are pretty much opposites. We've always been opposites. I play music, he plays sports.
We have Boyd Sports, which owns one AA affiliate of the Chicago Cubs, the Knoxville Smokies, and 5 Appalachian League teams. We've always loved animals and we've always loved horses. We went to the Kentucky Derby and were inspired that maybe we should get into the industry.
When we started going to the Derby, we both got excited about it. Out of 40-something years together, we found something that we were both interested in. We love being in Saratoga with Fasig-Tipton. Just a very exciting evening when you have your eyes on a horse and you don't know who's there to buy that horse. And it's pretty scary, actually.
We loved being there, and we ended up finding some really great horses.
To win the Derby and win the Belmont same year, it's just amazing. It's something that's gonna be there forever, you know, when we go back, when I get older, to show my kids, my grandkids, I think it'll be something special.
Jose Ortiz and the season he has had, Jonathan, winning the marquee races, the difference-making races that can change a career of a jockey.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, it's not like Jose was struggling for business, but I do think from a legacy standpoint, it's important to have those big races for them, for these athletes who've dedicated their lives to this job. And I think to be able to win the Oaks, follow that up with the Derby, it's got to be one of the best weekends I'm sure he's had professionally ever.
Well, I mean, let's face it. People who don't know much about racing, if they meet a rider, they're probably going to say to them, "You ever ridden in the Kentucky Derby? You ever win a Kentucky Derby?" And a lot of great riders have never won it. It's not easy to win. And that's a huge win for him and obviously for Cherie as well.
It's historic what he's done. Jose. Third jockey ever to win the Oaks, Derby, Belmont in the same year. It started under the lights, primetime, Churchill Downs, that ride on Always a Runner.
Just gave the horse a perfect ride. It's what he does most of the time. Thoughtful rider, and when he's on his game, and he's pretty much always on his game, he's as good a rider as there is in the game.
It was a school night, Oaks night. He came right back the following day from last to first Golden Tempo, and then proving it was no fluke once again. Golden Tempo, last to first in the Belmont Stakes.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that Jose did Golden Tempo some favors. I think a lot of people thought he got a big setup in the Kentucky Derby, which he did.
He did.
But he came back in the Belmont and stuffed a lot of us in a locker that thought Golden Tempo was fortunate to win the Kentucky Derby.
He's been stuffing many in a locker this season with what he has done in the marquee events. Jose Ortiz looking to rack up another Grade 1 event this evening in the Coaching Club American Oaks, and a live one in the upcoming 4th race, the first turf race of the afternoon with horses in the paddock. Ortiz to ride in spite of Charlie. 3-1. Riders up. We'll have a paddock report post-parade in the 4th of 12 from Saratoga next.
That Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the NyraBets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch and bet on live horse racing from over 300 tracks worldwide. Get expert picks, play live money betting contests, and boost your bankroll with daily promotions. NyraBets is the official betting partner of Saratoga Racecourse. Sign up now. New members use promo code SPA200 to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with NyraBets.
Live look at the Saratoga paddock. Saratoga Live continues on Fox Sports 1. First turf race of the afternoon, New York Breds. You see the field corresponding odds. Honoree number 3, 9-5 to Megan. Standing by live in the paddock.
Lafitte, he looks the picture of a 9-5 favorite for Shug McGahee, where he was kind of up against it last time out with a wide rally and a wide post, and he draws much more favorably today as he is a hunk of a horse. This is actually the first time he's getting to this flat mile distance, and I love this for him. He's not the biggest, but man, is he strong, well muscled. There's a lot of him, a lot of substance to him, and he's, to me, kind of at the disadvantage of his race, especially last time out, and then of course breaking his maiden in good order back on May the 1st. But like I said, this is, I believe, where he needs to be. And I do find, since he didn't quite break all that well too back, hopefully he'll be able to get a little bit more of a tactical trip as far as some of the speeds in here controlling. We'll see how Irad Ortiz Jr. Pivots with him as West Point Thoroughbreds looking to have a big day, not only with him, but counting stars later on in the coaching club American Oaks. The number 2, Sir Oscar. He's one that's second off of the bench, a long layoff, almost a year for his trainer, George Weaver, who doesn't have the best numbers with maiden winners in their last start. Specifically here at Saratoga on the turf, he's 0 for 9, but they do run with 4 of them coming in the money. And for a trainer that does so well here, it's just something to keep in mind. Now, last time out, he tracked off of a slow pace and he had a perfect trip. There was no reason for him to do anything but win, and that's exactly what he did. But looking at him, he kind of looks like the type of horse that could carry a little bit of extra conditioning. I obviously wasn't able to see him back first off of the layoff, but that kind of time, I do find he is a fitter version of himself second off of the layoff, and certainly looks adept for this mile distance. The number 9, Negui, believe is a French term, as this was a horse formerly in the Clement barn, and I will say this, I saw this horse last year as a 3-year-old, and he's done well for himself. He has taken that step forward and filled out some. I did think he was quite plain last year when he debuted here at Saratoga, and he was kind of that chasing type third, but he did run well last time out. Forward Horses did well on the firm course, and he kind of just set way too fast of a pace that day, but he's incredibly fit here for a dangerous trainer. And I did find visually his 2-back race was pretty strong. We'll see, though, ultimately, Lafitte, if he can wire this field.
Pedal to the metal, Flavien Prat, we'll see. Currently 5-1, circling back to the favorite in Honoree. For Hall of Famer Shug McGaughey, there he is. West Point Thoroughbreds and Company, Woodford Racing, and Rod Ortiz to ride. Honoree, his first race facing winners, Belmont Week, right here. It was farther, Andy, mile and an eighth. Andy, Honoree, far back, cut loose and catapulting past horses.
He needs to get out of the gate cleanly because that has been a bit of an issue for him. Having said that, I thought he really built on his maiden win last time for Shug. He broke from the far outside post. He broke a little slow. He was 3 wide the first turn, 4 wide the second turn. I like the horse. I know he was a little bit disappointing yesterday when third in the stake race. Yeah. I thought he ran very, very well in that race, and he's much more forwardly placed. So he's better placed in here, Brian Post 3. He's my top choice, but I'll tell you what, I think Jonathan's choice in this race is very dangerous.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 9. I just, look, I'm not like mad at Honoree. I just don't think deserves to be that short of a price. So the 9 I thought was a great alternative.
It's like he could hear you. Disappointed. Disappointed you, man. 9-5, made that big move on the turn, Honoree. And then Andy, a long shot there. King's Dancer. This trip with this field, mile inner turf course. Trip so important, saving ground, etc. How does the race shape up on paper?
Well, I mean, 313 is supposed to be in front, right? You're talking about a horse that has sprint speed. It's going a mile here for Sean Bridgman, so I can't imagine that Sean is not going to look to send 313. Now, whether or not he's fast enough, but I think your horse, Jonathan Nagil, should be right in his, right in his flank. Now, or sitting behind him. We don't know if he's effective sitting behind horses, but Nagil is better than his last start, and he does get Flavien Prat, but I think the 4 should be in front.
Further update on jockey Tyler Gaffleone involved in that incident at the gate before the second race from his agent, Matt Musiker, going to Saratoga Hospital. Will have x-rays on his leg. X-rays on his leg. Tyler Gaffleone had mounts for both of these stakes races in the Vanderbilt. Cat on time. Manny Franco to ride Cat on time in the Grade 2 Vanderbilt. And Flavien Prat didn't have a mount in the Grade 1 Coaching Club American Oaks on Dandona, an outsider, but still an opportunity for Prat. Gaffleone off his mounts the remainder of the afternoon. We cross our fingers from good news, but on his way to Saratoga Hospital for x-rays on his leg.
And we should point out Flavien did have a mount. He had directive.
Right, correct.
Directive scratching, he became open. Believe it or not, the geniuses in the show didn't think, oh, I forgot to see if Flavien Prat wants him as a mount.
We check in with Megan Burgess.
And Tom Bellhouse, the executive vice president of West Point Thoroughbreds, joined with me. A huge day on hand potentially with your Grade 1 winner Counting Stars later on, but Honoree wasn't the flashiest of purchases, and he's really done well for himself as well.
Yeah, we picked him up at the Fasig-Tipton New York bred sale, and which we've had a lot of luck with over the years. Just took a little time to get rolling. I think he was the first crop of Code of Honor. So Shug, having trained Code of Honor, obviously was a natural selection for a trainer, and he's really come around nicely. We were able to break our maiden with him, and then he ran up from a tough post, ran into some really, really talented other than horses, one of which the horse that came in second is also ours, Willpower. So we're expecting a huge effort today.
Counting Stars has taken the crew on quite the journey from her days at Oaklawn, and she was a diamond. She didn't have to spend that much for her. She certainly rewarded you with a modicum of talent.
Yeah, she's a horse that we picked up at OBS. We actually owned the dam. We raced the dam, and she had kind of a difficult career, but we knew that she was pretty talented. David Ngordo was a huge fan of Honor AP, so she was one that she was kind of on the list, off the list, on the list, and the team really fell in love with her, and she's rewarded us. And to have the kind of career she's had, and the campaign this year, starting in Oaklawn and bringing us all the way to the Acorn, it's been phenomenal. And as we said, today is a very, very special day for us, and we're hoping that we can maybe take the lead in the clubhouse on the 3-year-old filly division.
Absolutely, she's certainly in pole position to do so today. But you live here in Saratoga. You've had
days like today, that's for sure. I mean, I've been little nervous. I said, yeah, you know what? The day you stop getting the pins and needles and the butterflies, when you get to run 3 today and be in a grade 1, no, they'll never get old. And this is a magical day, and we're hoping we end it on a high note.
Best of luck in here with the magical filly indeed and Counting Stars Lafitte. She's certainly shown her talent as she looks to rematch with a familiar foe and always a runner.
If you didn't feel some of that anxiety, those nerves, a filly like that in a race like this here at Saratoga, go find something else to do, right?
100%. I mean, it's you know, if you're not nervous, it's because you don't care. It means that much to West Point, their partners,
of course,
and everyone who's involved with this game. I mean, I get excited every time I put a pick 6 ticket in. The excitement of what could be.
Yeah, it's always anticipation. You know, you look at the races and you try to figure them out. You get to see the races, and for owners to be in big races at Saratoga on a Saturday, it's an owner's dream. And you know, unfortunately, you're going to be disappointed a lot more often than you're not. But it's still, nothing matches the feeling of anticipating your horse running in a big race at Saratoga on a Saturday.
Megan spoke with Joe Bianchi yesterday of West Point. He says his partner's involved. This is the first horse they've been involved with. Like, it's not always this easy. Doesn't always work out this way associated with the racehorse. And yeah, grade 1 winner and a second choice in a coaching club, American Oaks. Post-parade, let's meet the field. There's Charles J., followed by Sir Oscar, decisive maiden winner at Aqueduct.
Yeah, draws inside here. Should be able to work out a nice trip. Manny Franco riding lights out this meet.
Honoree, the favorite, 2-1.
Break is key. He needs to break sharply and put himself in the race. If he does, he'll be a handful.
He's feeling it. Speedy 313. Do not sleep on these connections.
Yeah, stretch out horse, drawn inside, should tuck in behind horses. I've seen worse 20-1 shots.
In spite of Charlie, number 5, and Jose Ortiz takes over second choice.
Well, he is the favorite of his race 2 back. He's not of his last race. I can't make a major excuse, even though he had some traffic in the stretch. We'll see if he can bounce back.
King's Dancer, number 6, 7th start, first on grass.
Yeah, has a sibling that's run well on the grass, but the better siblings were on the dirt.
Ortis, just a second race since last August.
Yeah, I like Elisa Lewis horse in the next race, and she's a very dangerous kind of under-the-radar trainer with a horse that's run some decent figures before.
Alzero, 10th start, first try on grass.
Yeah, needed dirt, needed to get loose, needed maiden 50 to get that win.
McGill, Speedy gelding now with Flavian Pratt.
Yeah, he's better than last time, where he kind of ran off. Today, he's going to have to, though, try to rate and win, something he hasn't done in his limited career.
Let's watch him early and see if he cooperates with Flavian Pratt. Then perfect works with Susie O'Kane, winning rider. Christopher Elliott entering your screen, I promise. There he is.
Had to come all the way from Toronto. This horse ships in from Woodbine. We'll be seeing a lot of horses shipping in from Woodbine when we get back downstate to Belmont.
This horse had a wide trip last time. I just didn't love his effort.
The field. First look at turf racing, New York breds. Kids Day tomorrow at Saratoga, by the way.
Special day for you, right?
It is.
You'll be out in the jungle.
It is.
Gym.
I get free admission. Yeah.
Plushie. Is Plushie tomorrow? Is the Plushie tomorrow?
That's, yeah, I think so. You can explain to the viewers exactly what that is in detail before they get into the gate for this
I can't. Race. If my Plushie is not sleeping with me, I can't get to sleep.
Had Maggie's daughter open the show for us last year on Kids Day.
That was great.
Austin going to make a cameo.
There's a rumor that Austin's going to do the 4th.
Nice.
He's tomorrow.
He's
we'll
not
see.
Nice.
With all due respect, he's not as cute as Maggie's kids. I'm just getting it out there.
Kids Day tomorrow as they warm up for this 4th race here at Saratoga. This pick 4 about to get underway, and we check in with Megan trackside.
The number 5, Lafitte, in spite of Charlie, a type of horse that doesn't quite always get there, but he always seems to run well there for trainer Barclay Tagg, who's incredibly fit here in this race. And he's interesting to me, though, because I feel like he can create his own type of trip. And he's been able to be a little bit more forward lead to that pace, especially coming back to when you resort back to that race at Gulfstream Park at this mile distance of which he's able to cut back to. I'm just really interested to see if Jose Ortiz can be a little bit more tactical, because as it says there on the graphic, he is trying this Saratoga turf course for the first time, but he has many races that make him an obvious player in there, as the tote board reflects it. He's shining like a copper penny in the flesh and certainly doing well for himself. But as far as the number 7, we'll take a little bit of a pivot, a long shot that Andy was referring to from the barn of Lisa Lewis. This horse looks fantastic and might be, though, a bit softer on the edges just from a fitness perspective. Incredibly sharp. It does contend with a little bit of a layoff, not too long though, from back on May the 10th. But that 2-back race, this was last summer at Saratoga, makes this horse a major player at a big price and does have the tactical speed to put himself into the race. So big price to take a look at, might need the start, but if you aren't familiar with Lisa, she actually was a private trainer back in the day. She actually broke babies and worked with Peter Brandt's White Birch Farm. So certainly a horsewoman that knows what she's doing, especially when it comes to bringing horses back off of a bit of time. Quickly though, the number 4, 313 for Melanie Giddings also makes sense, but to me is one of those horses that, as this horse does stretch out in distance, has to ultimately contend with that question mark, and that ultimately to me is the Achilles heel. But certainly Lafitte will be a part of the early pace puzzle.
313, 22-1 towards the outside. Expect to have Nagil involved early. Final thoughts as they've reached a starting gate.
For me, the most important part for the favorite is the break. Is Honoree going to break well today?
I think it's what's going to happen with this pace. It feels like it's going to be honest enough. I like the 9 Nagil. Like I said, not against the 3, just felt like there were some other options here.
Honoree 9-5 at post time with Arad Ortiz, a date with Counting Stars in the Grade 1 Coaching Club, American Oaks. Again, coverage on Fox Saratoga Saturday in about 35 minutes. Vanderbilt CCA Oaks on Fox. First things first, this 4th race live on FS1 for the loading call. Here's Frank Miramati.
Continuing to move into line here, in spite of Charlie coming up. Goes in calmly. And here's Perfect Works to the outside. They're in the gate. And they're off to a clean beginning. And 313 is going out for the lead. Ortis is up close, and they're joined by Perfect Works on the outside. Nagil is in the mix too. Those 4 almost across the course as the field rounds the first turn. In spite of Charlie gets a good spot, racing along the inside, now just in front of Nagil, 3 lengths clear of Charles J. King's Dancer is next, toward the back of the field. Down on the inside, Charles J. is now in front of that rival as they went through that first quarter of a mile with Sir Oscar behind them, 23 2/5 seconds for that fraction. Alzero is racing toward the back of the field. He's in the purple colors, racing on the inside of King's Dancer, and Honoree will have to pass them all. Continuing down the backstretch, and it's 313, 47 and just under 4/5 of a second in front of Ortis, rounding the far turn. In spite of Charlie, is creeping closer on the inside of Nagil, those 2 side by side. King's Dancer is 3 deep, racing on the outside of Perfect Works as they race toward the top of the stretch. In behind that group is Charles J. Sir Oscar is next. Honoree starts to pick it up on the far outside. They turn for home. 3/4, 112 and 3. 313 trying to dig in, but in spite of Charlie's had the trip of life and up to take the lead. In the meantime, Charles J. flying up the fence, and in the center of the course, Honoree. But in spite of Charlie, gives Jose Ortiz another, much the best. Honoree from last into second. Third ended up going to Sir Oscar in front of Charles J.
There goes that man. Jose Ortiz, in spite of Charlie, hit the gas, accelerated in the stretch, and blew their doors off.
Yeah, a couple of observations. One, Jose's trip was great. He saved ground. It was the opposite of what Flavian was able to do with the 9. He saved a bunch of ground and made the difference here. The horse ran away from him. The second observation, the crowd was very, very loud for that race.
Yeah, there was an exciting race, and you could see in the backstretch they were going too fast. Too many horses engaged the pace. It just happens. And you're right, Nagil, if you like Nagil, give the horse another chance in a different situation. Everything was a disaster from the start with that horse. But Jose got this horse in a perfect position. You knew in the backstretch it was either this horse or the 3 and Honoree that were likely to win. They ran 1-2. They were moving up front. They're both good. This horse was more forwardly placed than Honoree in here, and it gave him the advantage, but I don't think it really mattered because he absolutely smashed this field.
Forgot how loud it did get here trackside on a Saturday. As you get closer to the main events, the crowd, the energy, Barkley tag winning trainer. I heard a rumor, and somebody told me that he was actually a pretty good trainer before Funny Side came along. Someone told me this.
It was so funny when Funny Side won and all these people were talking about Barkley tag like it was some young pup on the scene.
It's like Rookie of the Year.
It's like, if you've been following horse racing, first Grade 1 win, I believe your dad wrote him? Miss Josh, her.
Oh, wow.
I think Miss Josh was Barkley's first Grade 1 win, maybe in a Hollywood Park.
I didn't remember he trained
for
Miss
his
Josh.
longtime owner, Bonner Young, many years ago. And Barkley was talking about, I think Barkley told me Lafitte rode the horse, had a horse with bad feet. To ask your dad. But
I'm a bigger fan now.
Barkley, to me, is one of the great trainers of the game. Worked for Frank Whiteley, a legend in this game, trained the Great Ruffian, among others, Damascus as well. And Barkley and Robin Smolin, who works with them, they don't have a lot of horses, but they know how to train.
It's amazing how, in this game, in some cases, you haven't won a Derby, you haven't won a Classic, you haven't won a Breeders' Cup event, like everything else is meh.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, it's like that in lots of sports, though, right? It's like you're not a good coach till you win a Super Bowl. They did that with LeBron. He couldn't be a great basketball player until he won rings. It's pretty silly.
Right, like Pat Ewing and Charles Barkley are failures because they never won an NBA title. There was that guy that kept getting in the way, right? I forget his name.
23, went to North Carolina, I believe. Lots to smile about after this one. Barkley tag, yes, of Funny Side fame, yes, of Tiz the Law fame, but a very good trainer way before that. And had, in spite of Charlie, ready to rock and roll, Jose Ortiz heating up before the main events. 2 wins so far. Results when we come back. Plus, don't want to miss this. It's Cart Talk with nobody and then everybody. Stick around. You're watching Saratoga Live at CCAO Saturday on FS1.
For 100 years, we've built tools to work in nature with legendary performance and quality to master every challenge. Tools for people like you who work like a pro with heart and soul. Built for nature, trusted since 1926. Steel.
Dare Manor will take the Clementel Hirsch.
Archangelo, the Belmont winner in charge. The Grade 1 Whitney to Arthur's Ride.
Olympiad gets the gold.
Tap it twice. Tap it twice.
It is Timberlake who's going to win.
She's so speedy in that sprint.
Sierra Leone in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
The joy of traveling well is feeling at home, yet a million miles away from home. Discovering new flavors, or savoring the ones you already love. Not knowing what lies beyond the horizon, but knowing what matters most to you. This is the joy of traveling well. Oceana Cruises.
Whether it's competing on racing's biggest stages or in the sales ring, there's only one name to remember. Legion Bloodstock.
Picture perfect Saturday in Saratoga Springs. Saratoga Live FS1 brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years doing the usual, unusually well. Making it look unusually easy to the winner of the 4th race, a second for Jose Ortiz, you'll hear from in moments. Simply dominant in the end, Jonathan, kicking clear in spite of Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great ride by Jose. He's just seeing the ball so well, and when you can have a horse like this sit on the rail, save ground, it makes his job just that much easier.
Great ride, but this horse was much the best.
Fazek Tipton, Winner Circle lead-in, brought to you by the 105th Saratoga sale of selected yearlings, August 10th and 11th. Where will you be? In spite of Charlie, over the favorite honoree, and Sir Oscar 5-3-2 in the 4th here at Saratoga to Megan in the Winner Circle with winning pilot Jose Ortiz.
And now with that victory, Jose, you're the leader in the clubhouse as far as wins for the meet. It's got to be a good feeling, and or tied, I should say, for wins for the meet. But perfect tactical trip there for the winner, obviously driving home much the best.
Yeah, he broke good. He put me into a great position going into the first turn, and I was able to make him run whenever I wanted. And I saw the gap between those two horses at the top of the lane, and I took it, and I had enough horse to go through, and he responded well.
More than a horse, I would say, but always a runner up next, or coming later this afternoon, I should say, in the Coaching Club American Oaks. Take us through your trip in the Acorn. What do you find was kind of her biggest setback in that race, and now coming back into this rematch with Counting Stars?
I think it was a great trip. Honestly, it was a small field. She broke clean, and I was able to be in a good position in good fractions. I don't see a major excuse in the Acorn. I think we were second best. Today we got to come back and win the race.
The Whitney is fast approaching, and news has emerged that you will be aboard Magnitude. You have these incredible racehorses you've been able to be upon, winning Grade 1s all around the world. How's the decision-making process in those tough moments like?
I let my agent do his job.
Absolutely, well said, Jose. Well, best of luck later today, and congrats here.
Thank you.
Lafitte, about as candid and honest as it can get from Jose Ortiz.
Like, don't look at me. If the wrong selection was made, like talk to my agent. He makes the calls.
I always blame everything on you.
That's the way it works. The team, the camaraderie on this broadcast. Yeah, because it's a good problem to have, right? Like, you want to have all these horses to ride in the biggest of races, but can't be in two saddles at the same time. Have to make a decision for Ortiz, for Jose Ortiz, Magnitude as opposed to Nitrogen in the Whitney on August 8th.
I mean, Jose has to make the right choice, the choices he and his agent make that are best for them, and they're entitled to make those choices. The one thing that bothers me a little bit on that angle, and I don't blame anybody, sometimes a trainer will take a rider off a horse, and then there's a complaining. Well, the trainers also have a right to make a choice. Wayne Lucas always said that. Wayne would replace a rider after they won a race. He had the choice. Riders have every right to choose different horses and not be loyal or stay with a horse. But on the other hand, it does work both ways sometimes.
Why wasn't Jose on Cart Talk this week with the rest of the Saratoga backside?
I'll tell you why.
You say why?
It's because he was doing an interview.
He made a choice.
He had to make a choice.
Cart Talk now.
But this is good because today, like, I have a connection. You have Miguel Clement, who trains number 6 King's Remark. His wife Acacia's in this piece. Number 8 Woods, trained by Todd Pletcher. He's in this segment as well. So this is going to work because this is a different kind of Cart Talk altogether. It's not, you're not going to learn more about a jockey or a trainer and an owner. This is like a life lesson that it really is all about who you know, not what you know. And that day that you like forget to go to work, that group of A-list friends in your contacts, they're going to come in handy. As you'll see in this edition of Cart Talk with Jonathan Kinchin, the Cart Talk that almost never was.
Look, if you've been to Saratoga, you get it. The nights can get away from you. You got pick 6 carryovers, things taking up all your time. Sometimes your responsibilities can escape you a little bit. Well, I forgot about Cart Talk this week. I don't have a guest, but I do have an idea. Hey, where you at? I need a favor. I'm gonna come pick you up. All right, I got a trivia question for you. What trainer has the most Coaching Club American Oaks wins?
Wayne Lucas.
No. Todd Pletcher.
Oh, wow.
8.
Really?
5 with Johnny, by the way.
All right.
There you go.
It's good to know.
When you were a kid, Just give me a count. How many times did you hear Jeremiah was a bullfrog?
It's probably got to be, there's a couple commas. I got to say 1 million. I would say I still get it. You know, it's my favorite song. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. You know, was a good friend of mine.
So I've always wanted to do this.
Usually I'm the one holding the microphone.
I know. I've always hoped one day that I'd have on a nice outfit and you'd say, oh my gosh, JK looks dappled out.
You don't look dappled this morning, but I'm sure we could figure out a way for you to look dappled, yeah.
Thank you. What time do you set your alarm?
During the Saratoga meet, 3:30.
Do you hit snooze?
One time sometimes.
Just once?
Yeah, that can be some precious 9 minutes, you know?
I didn't need anything. I just saw you, so I felt like I should say hi.
I'm glad you don't need anything. Nothing to give. I got a lot of love to give, so.
If you need a snack at the track, where do you go to?
Well, for me, I just bring up cereal. I know I'm a big boy, but I really, like people offer, can I give you a brownie or can I bring you some pizza? The answer is no, man. I'm working pistachios, Planters, shout out Planters. The pistachio mix is the move in between races, a little honeydew melon.
You've got quite the hat collection, I've noticed.
Yeah, first of all, I'm a bald head, so it gets hot up here. Something needs to be protecting it.
When I was working my first winter at Aqueduct, I took down 3 slices right before the Gravesend, and I was petrified because you don't know the reaction when you're first time L&B. I mean, that's a big danger.
Give me the optimistic Jets fan scouting report for this year.
Boy, I haven't looked at the schedule, but I don't think the schedule matters. The best season is the off season.
High expectations from David Donk and his beloved Jets. Kart Talk brought to you by Gainesway. Power, passion, performance, Jonathan, like the no plan came together.
Yeah, you know, it's the tricky part about Kart Talk really is the people you want's travel schedule, right? A lot of times people aren't here the whole time, so they come in a little bit late. We got jammed up, but me and Mel, we pulled it off. We made it work.
Andy, if you're stuck, like if you're doing Kart Talk for some reason, you're substituting and you're in a pinch and you're calling everybody who was in that segment, how many of them you think get back to you, show up, and pull you out of the ashes?
Maya definitely would. Angel would. Acacia's the worst texter in the history of texting.
It takes her a minute.
Would definitely get back to me. Tom would get back to me. I'm not sure. It's a good question.
If you're asleep.
You know, when I used to do the radio show every Thursday night at the Parting Glass, one day a trainer, I'm not going to mention who, canceled on me at the last second. And it was in the box, and it was like an hour and a half before the show, and I'm thinking, great. And Mark Cassidy walks by. He was, I think, 2 for 60 at the meet at the time. I said, Mark, I'm really stuck. Any chance you can come on tonight? He said, what time do you want me there? That's who Mark Cassidy is.
Have you gotten a, Jonathan, man, today you look dappled out.
No,
from Acacia just yet?
No, but like Andy said, she's not a great texter.
So maybe, yeah, incoming.
She's the worst texter in the entire group here. The worst.
Acacia, not even on the show and catching strays.
She would admit
here on
it.
Saratoga
She
Live.
wouldn't hide behind it.
I can feel it. I can feel it. Bubbles.
I like to
can
leave
feel it. It's
text.
Andy's the king of exiting a group text.
If you really want to get on Andy's good side, get him in a good group thread and text the hell out of him.
I love a group
Nothing
text.
makes him happier. Nothing.
Andy
Except
has
maybe
left the building.
5th race, horses in the paddock, I believe. 12 minutes out. So much going on. Getting closer and closer to the teeth of this Saturday program. Vanderbilt Coaching Club, American Oaks on Fox. Fox Saratoga Saturday in 18 minutes, 3 Eastern. We'll meet the field for the Coaching Club American Oaks, and whose withers will we see that blanket following the 110th edition.
Some places stay with you and make you want to relive every moment. These are the places you want to get lost in. The ones that feed your curiosity, blow your mind, and tempt fate. Places that make you keep coming back. Because every time you're there, anything feels possible.
Terrific crowd as expected. It is a Saturday at Saratoga. Welcome back, Saratoga Live, brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. America's Best Racing's Race of the Week. As you might expect, Grade 1, 110th running of the coaching club, American Oaks. A look at the field. Counting Stars drawn inside, Acorn winner 2-1. The favorite, the Oaks winner, always a runner, Jose Ortiz. 9-5 morning line choice. Our fantastic crew at it again, barnstorming, really meeting the field for the coaching club, American Oaks. And we start with Counting Stars. There she is, looking for back-to-back Grade 1 victories.
Like always a runner, she's looking to solidify her position as the leader of this division. We'll see if she can do it.
Agrees with everything you're saying, brother. Jose Ortiz, Rad Ortiz, I should say. Then Dendana and a new jockey, Flavian Pratt, to take over for the injured Tyler Gaffleone.
Yeah, taking a shot. Source has been running on turf and synthetic exclusively.
Number 3, La Rascasi is out. Here's Miss Fulton Gal, a tall order on paper.
It's a big race, it's a prestigious race, and even hitting the board would dramatically increase long shot Miss Fulton Gal's value.
Just her second start in a graded stakes race, tackling some of the best 3-year-old fillies in the game. There's a look at Measure, second at 2 for Mark Cassie.
Yeah, hasn't won since last year in the maiden race as a 2-year-old. This is a tall, tall task.
Jockey in a groove to ride. Manny Franco, Measure. Then the morning line favorite, Kentucky Oaks winner, always a runner. How will she respond to the first defeat of her career?
She delivered a punch in Kentucky. She got punched back by Counting Stars last time out. She, too, is looking to solidify her position as the leader of this division.
Directive is out. Disappointing. Lots of upside. Zany, a statement race for her. The defeated Kentucky Oaks favorite.
I'm not sure if her Demoiselle was not the best race any of these horses have run altogether. She just hasn't really turned the corner this year. She's got a chance to try to right the ship.
Nikon aiming for the stars.
Yeah, listen, they took a shot. They scratched yesterday to mild, run a mile and 8. You got to be in the big races, and certainly Jason Worth is Icon Racing. He wants to be in the big races, and he's won one before, and a few, actually.
Had a first-time starter strike here yesterday. Jonathan, always a runner. It's not just that she won the Kentucky Oaks in just her 3rd career start. Like, it's everything she overcame, like, just to get there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you know, as a 2-year-old, she had a bad case of pneumonia that potentially could have affected her entire career. Chad had to give her some time to get over that. Then she comes back, and that's why she was kind of late to the party with so little races going in to that Kentucky Oaks. But she did get the Kentucky Oaks, and I do think that she's the type that could rebound off of her last effort. Talking to Chad, there were some excuses, I think, kind of how she was going into that race, training up to the race in terms of her kind of where she was mentally.
Coverage begins on Fox at 3 Eastern. Meantime, with horses in the paddock, we check in with Megan Burgess.
So thrilled to be joined by Dave D. Phipps, of course, who sent out, of course, the number 3 Quiet Power, and just goes to the homebred powerhouse that you and St. Elias have proven to be.
Yeah, and this horse was part of that first group, you know, with Golden Tempo. We always thought he was a really nice horse. He won his last out, and he's been training great since then, so fingers crossed there's a lot of nice horses in this race.
Got to be exciting to be building up to the Travers with Golden Tempo. He's now arrived. He's with us in Saratoga. How do you feel?
Well, I love that I get to see him train every day. He's up here. He's doing great. He looks great, so fingers crossed.
You have inspired me and so many others as far as building your family's path through this business. You've never let it rest, and always the epitome of this game. What's it been like to go on this journey with him and continue on as he is at the top of his division?
I mean, it's an honor. I mean, being around good horses like that, you know, being around every horse is an honor to be around, but getting a good horse like that, it is a once in a lifetime thing, and I am really fortunate. Cherie and I were talking this morning, and then we went our own ways, and she texted me, you know, that he was working tomorrow morning, and I texted her back. I was like, I feel so lucky that I get to be around this horse. It's just amazing. And she was like, me too. It's been awesome.
We feel lucky to watch him. Thrilled to catch up with you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Lafitte?
Daisy Phipps, Golden Tempo, and there was something that was very appropriate of seeing those colors, the black and cherry red of the Phipps stable in the winner's circle of the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, it didn't quite erase the disappointment for me when Easy Goer didn't win the Kentucky Derby.
You'll get over it.
I'm never really going to get over that one, but yeah, they're as iconic a racing colors as you'll find in the game, and it's nice to see them still represented when so many of the historical families in racing have gone by the wayside over the years.
Golden Tempo training up to the Travers, unlike the 3-year-old fillies, where it's so contentious, the chase for a title. For the boys, he is far and away the division leader leading up to the Travers.
Yeah, I think Andy said this the other day. A horse would have to win the Travers and the Classic. To be able to unseat him as champion 3-year-old.
He's as big a favorite for a divisional title at this point as there could be, and rightfully so.
5th race on tap. Post parade shortly. Quickly, you liked his trouble in here, Andy, at 7-1?
Yeah, this horse was an interesting horse that a friend of mine had told me about after the first race, and was in just a way too tough a spot last time, but had a wild trip. I recommend people take a look at that replay, watch it on Naira Bets. So while I think Instability the favorite horse to beat, I'm betting on the 9 in trouble, Tis Trouble, and using an Exactus.
Why do you like the horse? My friend told me about him. Hashtag analysis.
Well, he clued me into him before his last race, and then he's ran so well.
9 minutes left in show.
I
Giving
give
you a hard
credit where
time.
it's due.
Omaha. I don't. Keep it all for myself. Quiet Power. There he is with Jose Lezcano.
Yeah. We'll see if he can build on his maiden win. He'll have to probably get better, but he's not untalented.
Number 4. Love this name. Nuck Choris.
Yeah,
Ricardo Santana.
This horse wins the name game here. Only has that one race on synthetic going short.
Go Gray, 8th in the opening week Saranac.
I think this horse is dangerous in here with Jose Ortiz. Ran okay on the pace last time, and could be a decent horse for Mike Trombetta.
King's Remark, defeated Jersey Derby favorite.
Yeah, I thought this horse was very impressive first time out. Needs to step forward with this group.
Todd was terrific on Card Talk. There's Woods, world-class connections.
Yeah, this horse has some tactical speed, but those pace figures aren't too fast. I worry this horse is going to be a little bit too far back.
Instability, Chouvi winning connections.
Yeah, I like this horse quite a bit. I think this horse is going to be the one to beat in here.
Tis Trouble. Andy likes him, the 7th in the Saranac.
Yeah, this horse had a wild trip last time in a very competitive field and ran a lot better than it might look from his finish. I think he's a big player today.
Chamberville to the outside. Wow. There he is in a blink. Bad news, bad post, good news. Irad Ortiz rides.
Big price on Irad Ortiz on a horse that is far from out of it. Has run well in some turf races. A big price.
The field for this 5th race. 3-year-olds, mile and a 16th on the outer turf course. Instability, revving his engines at 9-5. And this performance, Andy, in the Woodhaven, 2nd career start following his maiden win. Aqueduct, late April. Instabilities 4-5, has every chance, just second best.
He did, but he was second best horse who had a better trip than he did. It's not that he had a bad trip. The winner just had a better trip. And the winner came back and ran a good second. The stake in his next start justified this effort. This is a very nice effort. There's a lot of give in the ground. Now, maybe that helped him. He's a Loop de Vega, but I don't really know. It was not a firm turf. It was a yielding turf, as you can see by the final time. He was game to the wire. He's been gelded since his last start. I have nothing against him. I think he's the horse to beat.
From that post, Jonathan, you like him as well. What does Flavien Prat need to do to put him in a situation early where he's not conceding or losing too much precious real estate going into the first turn?
And I'm not necessarily blaming Flavien for the last race, but he needs to do the opposite of what he did on the 9 last time. You got to try to find some position. You got to try to get over. He typically does that, and I trust that he'll do that again. Just try to get some cover. Try to get to save some ground. Don't want to be 2 or 3 wide all the way around there. Try to get to the rail. And if he's able to do that, I think this horse is going to be very hard to beat.
Megan with more on Instability.
And Lafitte, this is a horse that trainer Chad Brown has been working with from a mental perspective. So to see him come back as a gelding could be just the ticket, as he was some kind of chaotic sort on his debut in Tampa. And then he comes back. He was kind of saddled away from horses there at Aqueduct back on April the 25th, where he's shown talent. He won in driving fashion on debut. And then last time out, it was kind of a merry-go-round affair, tracked off a slow pace where there was a kind of a looser early leader. And then Flavien really made that astute move to get him into good position. He was just kind of hustled around the turn. The winner, Blackmail, came back to run a solid second in the Penn and Ridge in his next start. And I just find this horse I had no issues with, and I do appreciate hopefully the mental change, as he seems to be much more settled today. It does contend with that outside draw, but has enough tactical speed where Flavien will be able to put him into position. As far as the number 6, King's Remark, This is a horse that is the full brother to a horse by the name of Public Sector. And honestly, when just looking at his pedigree, you would think maybe this mile and a 1/16 would be just the ticket for him. As last time out, I can agree, his effort in the Jersey Derby wasn't the most impressive. You could say maybe he didn't have the picture-perfect trip. His maiden performance was incredibly flashy. He didn't break all that well. It wasn't a very fast pace, and he won in driving fashion. I just want to be able to see this horse switch off and settle. That's the goal. I feel like he's been a bit green and a bit immature, but also I take note in the fact that I feel like this horse has continued to develop, coming into his third start. As far as the number 2 is Silent Impact, this is a half to Emolian, who is a Grade 1 winner trained by Bill Mott. I'd expect this horse to also run well, though a difficult task, Lafitte, facing winners for the first time.
Juddmonte homebred, Silent Impact, crossing over to the turf course. Final thoughts before they move into line.
I hope the 9 gets a good trip and wins.
At a price? 7-1. All right, so our viewers watching, how do they know, Jonathan? What is a good start? What does a win look like for Instability and Flavien Prat going into the first turn?
I think getting into the 2 path at least, going into the first turn, I think would be a victory for Flavien.
Something to watch for.
Murky pace, 2, the 5, the 8, all these horses potentially can be forward. Not as clear-cut a pace as the last turf race we looked at.
If they run to form, who is the quickest? Like, who should be in front?
The Timeform US Pace Projector has the 2 in front, which is a little hard to believe. And Junior Alvarado is not aggressive.
Yeah.
And when trainers win races rating, they're reticent to be changing the tactics here in their races. So I think you'll see Go Gray with Jose Ortiz be aggressive, and perhaps you'll see John Velasquez be aggressive with Woods. So I think the 5 and 8, and Flavien will probably try to look to follow those the 10 if they ever go in the gate.
Pratt aboard Instability. At the gate, not moving into the gate just yet. Coverage moves to Fox in 3 minutes. You'll see the Grade 2 Alfred G. Vanderbilt right on cue. Late scratch. Quiet Power, number 3.
The 4
The
is
4?
scratched, yeah.
Nuck Choris.
They're going to move the inside 3 out.
Loud here trackside, hard to hear. Frank Miramati making the announcement. Nuck Choris is out. A long shot, but we always have to ask, Andy, a racehorse's style, the absence of Nuck Choris, does that change anything?
On paper, this horse did not figure to be part of the pace. This is, on paper, an insignificant scratch from the concept of how the race figured to be run, but you don't know for sure.
This is bad timing, Jonathan. The Fox show starts in 3 minutes, man, and I blame you.
Honestly, I've been telling everyone it's your fault.
I just want to say I'm okay if the 9 wins and I don't get any credit for it. I'm totally fine with that.
That's what they
My
will
credit
lead.
will come in cash.
The tease, the big open on the Fox show will be just that. Andy cashed after pegging the 9 because his friend told him he liked him.
No, he liked his debut on the synthetic. I'm a man who believes in giving credit where credit is due. I won't do it again with you, I promise.
We just differ in some ways.
In your case, I don't ever have to give credit because you never do anything to give me, makes me give you credit.
All I got to do is drive, man. I don't have to be right about a thing. Let's try this again. Manny Franco on Omaha Storm. All right, moving into line. Instability, 7-5. Frank Miramati with the call, the 5th from the Spa, live on Fox Sports 1.
Silent Impact is going in now, following King's remark. Here's Woods. Tis troubled. Instability, the big favorite here. And Chambersville to the outside. 6-5 now for Instability. Those odds keep dropping. They're in the gate. And they're off. Go Gray, one of the first. Chambersville flying up on the outside. Silent Impact is in there. And it is a real scramble. They are fanned across the course, moving into the first turn. And here's Quiet Power coming through along the inside, but it is Woods who gets the lead. So Woods is the pacemaker. He'll be prompted by Instability, who's just 3/4 of a length back in second. That pair is followed by Chambersville through a quarter that went in 23 and 2/5 seconds. Down at the rail, it's Quiet Power racing a joint fourth. Go Gray with the yellow cap is just outside of him. It's another 3 back to Silent Impact, who was very quick out of the gate, but backs off now. Omaha Storm is next, 3 clear of King's Remark. And then it's Tiz Trouble at the back. The half in 47 and 1 for Woods. For Pletcher and Velasquez, taking him into the far turn with Instability right up alongside, under a tight hold and putting the pressure on now and taking the lead. And Chambersville is also on the scene. And so just like that, Instability and Chambersville go on with it as they come to the quarter pole. Go Gray is a clear-cut third as Woods has dropped out of it. In behind them comes Silent Impact. Tiz Trouble will come with his run on the far outside there at the top of the stretch. And it's Chambersville in front, Go Gray second. Tiz Trouble continues to close stoutly in the middle of the course as Instability fades late. Late run from King's Remark, and it's a good one too. Chambersville clear. Go Gray a final try, and Chambersville wins it. Go Gray was second. It's a photo for third between King's Remark and Tiz Trouble.
Arad Ortiz, Chamberville, 9-1 in the end in the fifth at Saratoga. Don't get Arad at that price often. He will not be that price. You won't get those odds in the Coaching Club American Oaks as he gets set to ride Counting Stars. Coverage moves over to Fox. Fox Saratoga Saturday, the Vanderbilt Coaching Club American Oaks, as this Super Saturday moves on with the main events still ahead. Fox Saratoga Saturday over on Fox.
And it's always a runner. The slight 9-5 morning line favorite nearly didn't even make it to the races. Had a serious bout with pneumonia when she was a 2-year-old. Chad Brown always thought she was an Oaks-type filly. When she finally got to the races, she proved she was. But that perfect win streak came to an end in the Acorn. With me, one of the winningest trainers of all time, Tom Amoss, former champion jockey Richie Migliori, 4-time Major League All-Star Paul LaDuca. Tom, is this the best new rivalry we have in horse racing?
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, you're talking about the two that have gone against each other twice. It reminds me of Ali Frazier. You know, they split matches, and then the third one, the Thrilla in Manila, we're going to call this one the Showdown at the Spa.
Yeah, when Always a Runner got the best of Counting Stars in the Kentucky Oaks, it's only her third career start. You kind of wonder, and I think Chad Brown kind of wondered, was it too soon for her? Was that her best effort, Mig? She delivered on the first Friday in May. Counting Stars was able to turn the table, but this was Always the Runner's best day.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and for a filly in her third start to win the Oaks, quite impressive. But I think it was a tale of two trips. Counting Stars was always kind of boxed in, covered up with horses. She didn't do her best run until she got to the clear. Always a Runner had already gotten first run on her, given her the slip. The race was over. But you're going to see Counting Stars finish, and now the opposite trip in the Acorn, where Counting Stars was able to get to the outside, and she was the hunter, not the hunted one. Always the Runner became the hunted one, and she just blew on by. She's a filly that Irad Ortiz identified wants to be in the clear.
And before that race in the Acorn, Irad Ortiz Jr. came to trainer Mark Casse and said he'd make sure Counting Stars got outside, and he did his job. For more on the Acorn winner, let's go to Acacia Clement.
Over here at trainer Mark Casse's barn, you do see some very talented fillies, including Miss Counting Stars, who will try to pick up another Grade 1 victory in today's Coaching Club American Oaks, as she defeated Kentucky Oaks victress Always a Runner last time out. This will be their third meeting, and she'll try to get one up on the filly that is currently, you would say, in the lead for 3-year-old champion. Mark Casse had that 3-year-old filly champion last year in Nitrogen, who's just down the shed row. And with this filly right here, he could be getting that Eclipse Award in back-to-back years. And you could say it's pretty safe to say with fillies like this, trainer Mark Casse is counting his blessings with Counting Stars.
And as Counting Stars looks to meet her main rival in here yet again with Always a Runner, I'm Maggie Wolfendale in the gorgeous Saratoga paddock in a packed house here in upstate New York and always a runner. Chad Brown, her trainer, has said that maybe she reacted a bit to the big performance that we saw in her third win in a row in that Kentucky Oaks. And two, she was forced to move a little bit early looking back at that acorn. Now she has trained incredibly well leading up to this Grade 1 CCA Oaks with another horse from the Chad Brown barn in My Guns Loaded, who would come back and win very nicely here yesterday. This team, however, with Three Chimneys and Chad Brown and Jose Ortiz,